The following presentation does not represent Australian opinion or intellect. We do not speak for any religious order or ethnic minority. We are not political scientists or uni graduates. We're insignificant upper-lower class scum, comparing notes and airing grievances. It's just our opinion. Deal with it.
No way that GST will ever be part of our policy.
Never ever.
Never ever, it's dead.
If they don't like it, go back to where they're parked.
It is a big idea.
No, we don't need them.
A new world order.
I was going to say, man, if you looked at my Instagram for the last 9 days, it's all
You were both in Skull and Bones, The Secret Society.
fucking babies and like
So sick that we can't talk.
newborns, one-year-olds, 2-year-olds. I don't know.
Oh, you should have taken one with little Indy for your Insta.
Oh, don't worry, I've got my photos. Yeah, she's really cute, man. Like, she's actually really cute.
Jim would just like to let any listeners know that he's good with kids and also single at the moment. All you ladies out there,
Good with kids, really? Me? I'm not. I don't think I am.
we're dealing with our snag over here to my right, Jimmy.
Me? Who's the snag? Look at him.
Yeah, but I'm already snagged, so
It doesn't matter if you're a snag.
Jimmy, you're a snag deep down.
Fuck off. Everyone thinks that. Man, I come across. You know what really pisses me off the most, man? People that don't actually know me, especially people like women, man, like real uppity women, when they meet me for the first time, they think that I'm like some sort of woman hater.
Why?
I don't. Do you think I'm a woman hater? I'm asking you guys. You guys know me pretty well.
Definitely not. You're a woman lover.
You're a dickhead. No. But like, they think I'm like some sort of oppressed like lunatic.
Why is that? Just like
I don't know.
because of the Italian Greek stereotype, you know.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's common, man. Like plenty of men out there are less than desirable attitudes towards women.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Maybe it's just your ruggedly good looks and they're
Fuck
just
off.
intimidated.
no. Like they outright say to me, like, "Do you hate women or something?" I'm like, "Why?"
The first thing they say to you,
I'm not even
excuse me,
joking.
do you hate women?
Dude, I'm not even joking. I'm talking initial reaction. I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking equalist, man.
I've never heard you fucking
Yeah, no one.
bag out a woman.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Unless it's Pauline Hanson or Sonia Kruger.
Oh,
then-
fuck her, man.
So, were you guys good and do your census last night? Ah.
You didn't do it.
Oh shit, Johnny.
You were meant to do it. Yeah, I was going to do my mum's for it, but
I was sleeping.
you was fucked because my mum's overseas. Yeah, a mate of mine looked it up. He goes, "Did your mum have to do it?" I go, "I don't know, man. I think so." He looked it up, and apparently they want you to on the paperwork. I can't remember if you looked up on the paperwork or googled it, but it said that if you're overseas, you need to call like some consulate number at like $4 a minute and tell them that you're overseas. That's why you can't do it. Otherwise, you get fined. But then when I looked it up on the net last night, it said in this little blank disclaimer, if you're overseas, don't worry. We just take the information from the border, like customs and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And we just,
We're messing with you a little bit, Johnny. The website was down most of yesterday.
yeah. They pumped how much into it? Like 500,000 or something to get the website up?
No, 9 million. I think 500,000.
I saw the number 500,000 when I was reading the paper today.
Yeah, so the Bureau paid Revolution IT $325,000 in December for licenses and census load testing. Further contracted in May this year, another $90,000 for load testing. And again in June, $50,000 for load testing.
Load
So that's
testing is just traffic, yeah?
testing the server, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't...
So they spent well over $400,000
You
testing
can't
the load.
run like a... What's it called? What's the word? Like a... Oh, what the fuck's the word I'm thinking about? Like when you... It's like a real-time sort of drill.
You can,
Yeah, but not to simulate traffic.
yeah. Because how much is a census? How much does one user take up? You just set up a computer to hit it multiple times at the same... To simulate,
Yeah,
you know,
but
10,
it
20,
died,
100,
it failed
200.
miserably, man. Like,
Yeah.
miserably.
So what does that mean? Like,
Nothing.
If
A lot
you
of
didn't-
people couldn't do it last night, and they just basically... First they said, if you don't do it, you're fucked.
yeah.
And then because the servers all died, they said, oh, no, you'll be fine if you
Yeah.
do it tomorrow.
Oh, so I'm sweet. Yeah.
You got to do it, though.
Yeah, try and just log on every now and then and check it.
How long did it take you?
How long do you have to do it until... I didn't get it done.
You didn't do it?
No.
How come I got to do it?
What time did you do it?
it was early. It was in the Arvo because I
Early
finished
Arvo?
early yesterday. I finished by 12:1 yesterday. So
And how long did it take you to do it?
honestly, man, when I looked at because I'd done the census once before, like I can't remember when, but I know I'd done it once, at least when I was in Clayton. When you pull up the screen, it says a typical household will take you about half an hour to do it. I seriously blitzed through it in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Yeah, because you don't have to ask anyone.
Nah.
Yeah.
Just no. Yes, that's my wage. That's my religion. No. Yes. No. No. Yeah.
Because my missus was telling me some guy was complaining about the religion section because he couldn't put Christianity or something as his religion. It wasn't on there. No, it was something weird. There was like 11 preset religions.
Yeah,
but 7 of them were different versions of Christianity.
They were all, like Greek Orthodox is actually a religion. You know what's fucked? Greek Orthodox is listed as a religion, yeah? But it says, where were your parents born? Like, as in, one of the questions is the household, like, is this person's mother, where was this person's mother born? Where was this person's father born? What language is predominantly spoken at home? All that sort of shit. Greek wasn't a preset. It was like Italian, German, Vietnamese. You'd think Greek would be a preset, man, considering the number of Greeks in like Melbourne especially.
Yeah.
You know? But Greek Orthodox was a preset. I'm guessing because of all the Arabs and Armenians and stuff that are Greek Orthodox as well. Yeah.
And it was to select gender. It was male or female, and if you wanted to select other, you had to call up. So, like, instead of just ticking a box, you actually had to ring someone while you were doing your census to make them correct it.
What would you put in other?
Transgender.
Yeah, but isn't transgender like? It's not a woman that it's a woman that identifies as a man or a man that identifies as a woman.
Yeah, there's another one now where it's like
So
you don't identify as either.
No, hang on, man. Is that for real?
Yeah. Yeah. Gender neutral or something, is it
How
called?
can you be gender neutral?
Yeah, gender neutral, that's what it's called.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no gender.
You're undecided, like you're just a... Yeah.
Well, no.
You don't...
No, but hang on.
Well, no, typically it just says other. So...
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense, dude. Because like transgender individuals and stuff like that, right? Have like I feel like I've always been a man inside, whatever, right? Okay, like yeah, that's fine. I get it. And you want to swap, cool. But how can you be other? Like the laws of nature define you to be something. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's not like a.
Yeah,
it's just people's stupid opinions. It's like no, but it's the laws of nature. Like,
Yeah, I think people confuse sex and gender. So I think that genetically we're all male, but
okay,
but then people assume that if you call someone a man, that means something about them. Well, you know, there's plenty of different type of men around the world. So
yeah, there's just plenty of different women around the world.
yeah, so I think people try to define, you know, they argue that the gender is socially constructed, and I would agree, but when I call someone a man, I'm calling them their sex, not their gender. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So yeah, the idea that a male or female, what it means to be male or female is socially constructed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what, man? It's weird that you say that, because I was flicking through Instagram, like, on the way, I think, to Johnny's joint or something, I can't remember what it was, and I saw a photo. It was just in, like, the search explore feed. Like, it wasn't anyone that I know or anything, so I don't know the couple, but there was a woman, and she was, like, 16 weeks pregnant or something, yeah? And she was wearing, like, a white T-shirt, and she had 2 blue handprints on her tummy, and her partner was behind her, and his hands were, like, you know when you hug someone from behind and you put your arms through their arms?
Yeah.
So it looks like, yeah. And he had blue paint on his hands. So they took a photo of him, like, grabbing her stomach from behind sort of thing, and it was his hands, so, like, you know.
Yep.
And I looked at the post, and it said, oh, it's our birth announcement, we're having a boy, blah, 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 you know, and whatever. And I looked at that, and the first thing I thought of was, are they going to get in trouble because blue is now, is representing a boy? Like, you know how, like, they talk about how colours and stuff should be gender neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just thought, my mind straight away went to, like, shit, like, what's that going to cause? Like, whatever. And then I thought about, is that really wrong? Like, how does, like, my brain started going into overdrive where it's like, how do we come up with gender biases or whatever? Like, you know, blue is for boys, pink is for girls.
Yeah.
that
boys,
sort of shit.
boys play with Lego, girls play with Barbie dolls.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, well, that's a social construct, right? But then I thought, if you can do that, if you can strip that away, right, and like say, yeah, that's bullshit. We're all the same or whatever. Like every colour's the same. Is calling a woman as a very feminine woman, or calling a dude as a very masculine dude, is that like being biased as well? Because masculinity is a social construct that we define, but is that now like, you know, being fucking biased, or like like insensitive, socially insensitive?
Nowadays, it probably would be, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what does being masculine mean?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they want to strip back the colours
Just
to
take,
like
just,
blues.
just take a look over here, buddy, and
It's just...
this is what it means.
Who do you think of when you think of masculine? Think about it like that. Like a man.
Arnold.
A real man.
Yeah, but Arnold shaves his legs, which isn't typically masculine.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
Yeah,
He also oils himself up.
yeah.
Spends a lot of time looking at himself in the mirror.
That's not masculine.
No.
Like, you wouldn't consider that masculine, yeah?
No.
Maybe Dimmy.
Me?
Rugged.
What do you mean? You look more rugged than I do. You got a full beard. What did you smoke? It's just yeah, came home from work, mate. Like, no.
That's what I mean. Like masculinity doesn't really mean anything.
No.
Maybe just being stronger.
Yeah, like, you know, or what's that guy from Mad Men? You know,
Doing the suit.
yeah, you know,
know
providing for your family and stuff. But
That masculine?
I don't know. I tend to think that the nuclear family, the
2.5 kids or whatever, and
2.5 kids in a
Yeah.
white picket fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of masculinity is a guy who, you know, clean shaven, wears a suit, goes to work every day, brings home the bacon.
you reckon?
Yeah,
supports
but
the
then
fam.
but then that's obsolete now anyway.
What's your definition of masculinity? Like, to be masculine, right? Like Arnie, right? Like, you think like this fucking unit of a dude, right? But then Arthur brought up the fact that he shaves his legs and oils himself up and looks in the mirror. Like, that's not a masculine trait.
Yeah. Probably more of like a lumberjack style character with like a big,
Yeah,
big beard, flannel shirt, chops the wood. That's masculine.
yeah.
Smells like leather.
Smells like leather.
Cigarettes and leather and scotch.
Looks like that.
And the flanny that hasn't been washed
Harry
in a
Potter.
couple. Yeah.
Hagrid, is that his name?
Just
Yeah.
a Viking of a man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, what? That's what pisses me. Okay, let me ask
What
you.
about Donald Trump? Masculine?
Is he masculine? He's fucking ignorant.
Not really.
But that's part of it, isn't it? Being
Ignorant.
confident.
Masculinity is confidence. Yeah, I guess so.
Because
Being a big dumb ape.
Donald Trump is a lot of things, but confidence is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's the same with femininity. Like, you guys make fun, well, not really, you know, poke fun a little bit at the way that I dress, you know, come in nice
'Cause you're
pants and
sharp.
stuff. Yeah.
Look at us today. You know what? No, look at us today. I wore a different fucking hoodie just to differentiate, but dude, we look exactly the same again. Beanie, hoodie, trackies, runners.
Just scumbags
Yeah,
over
I
here.
didn't see your trackies. I didn't see your ripped t-shirt.
Yeah.
You look like you bought that outfit before you came here.
It was like the other day at work, like, I was just thinking, like, I've never seen you dirty. I've never once seen you dirty. Like, you're just pristine,
Yeah.
tucked in, neat. Like, your fluoro is always just blinding my eyes until it's so clean.
It's like this beacon in the.
Which, you know, which would be typically feminine. You know, wearing...
Would it? Yeah, but then
In a
there's
way.
Like, but then there's like, if someone just looks sharp, and you know, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dapper, like a dude. You describe a dude as dapper, you're probably going to describe him as masculine at the same time.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
dapper is just another word for beautiful, isn't it?
Is it?
Suave. Suave.
Suave. Yeah.
Suave, yeah. We'll probably have to get a few
I'm thinking-
women
do you
in
know-
here to ask them, but...
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the word debonair.
Debonair.
Yeah. Debonair. Do you actually know what the meaning is? I've never looked up. I think I looked it up once.
I'm going to say
Hang on.
debonair.
I'll tell you why, because there's this line in this Paul Wall track, and I put it up as my facey status like 5-6 years ago, and like someone commented on it, my ex or someone commented like, what the fuck? Like, where'd you get that from? Okay, it's actually a song. Like, hang on. It's this Paul Wall track's got a line,
Debonair.
and the line is, I'm suave and debonair.
Yeah.
But Paul Wall's got like grills, shaved head, tats. Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not.
Dude,
Yeah.
Debonair is an
Sophisticated.
adjective, right?
Sophisticated.
Yeah, courteous, gracious, and having a sophisticated charm.
Yeah, sophisticated. That's the
Like
first
that's
one.
that's like a big mulch of like all this fucking cool shit. All right, so if that's
My mum
debonair,
used to always say that to me. You're so debonair, Johnny.
you,
So I,
you laugh before I did.
I guess it's true.
Dude, you look up the word suave, right? Hang on, suave means, hang on, life brings up debonair again. Suave means
Classy.
of persons or their manner, speech, etc. Smoothly agreeable or polite, agreeably or blandly urbane. So,
That could easily be used to describe a typically, feminine woman.
smoothly agreeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just sits there and giggles.
yeah, sits there, giggles, puts her hand on your thigh.
Yeah.
Guy just gets a raging boner.
No, that's what I,
Just looking at him.
and that's what I mean. Like the idea of masculinity and femininity have no real meaning anymore.
You reckon?
Yeah.
They're trying to like take away that whole masculine side of the man, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I brought it up. Remember about the Today shows and the Sunrise shows and all that?
Yeah.
Every dude on that show has just been stripped of any masculinity whatsoever.
Always with those insurance ads, it's always the woman telling the man he needs to do this.
Yeah.
You've got all those bands like One Direction, they're all
Insurance. Every ad on TV. The
true.
guy is always incompetent.
Just idiot.
Just a
Yeah.
useless,
Idiot dad,
useless
yeah.
cunt.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's no one complaining about that, right? You know what we need to bring back, man? We need to bring back, like, the fucking Burt Reynolds, man, and the Tom Sellecks. I saw Tom Selleck on some TV
Just a man's
show.
man.
He was just this dude with a mo. It was like, fuck, yeah, that's Tom Selleck. Like, it was some daytime TV movie. And I'm like, fuck, what happened to him, man? They've all just disappeared. Like, I don't, like, it really, that bothers me, because you know what really gets me? Is chivalry. Right? Chivalry.
Yeah.
Man, I'd be
I'm
out.
quite chivalrous.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Like, I've said this story so many times, yeah? My dad never taught me about the birds and the bees, ever, right? Never had that conversation with me.
Me either.
Typically, dude, why are you laughing?
I never had that conversation either.
Yeah? Why?
I learned from early porn back in high school.
That's how you learned.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh, that's what sex is about. Some woman getting...
Sitting there on his dial-up connection.
just...
I'll never forget this one picture I had off Rotten.com. Remember Rotten?
Oh, Rodden was fine.
And it was a chick with a bowling pin up her ass. Like that was just burnt into my memory. Like, one of the first.
That's Johnny's sexual education.
Bowling pin?
No wonder I'm so fucked up.
Yeah, it's just this deviant driving around in his stato with the bowling pin in the back of his mind. No, dude, honestly, man, like, I never had that conversation, and dude, a lot of Greeks, like, wouldn't have had that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, the father would just been having a smoke, like, "Ugh," and that'd be like, you went to your dad, asked dad, where do babies come from? "Ugh," and that'd be it, right?
Yeah, I didn't talk to either of my parents about this sort of stuff.
I'm actually surprised because your old man's into medicine and stuff.
Yeah, nah.
Really? I thought, like, see, there's another chapter, like, of the right, like, family.
The right family.
Yeah, the right family that I really
My old
would
man's
like.
not very good at like talking about like feelings and like shit like that. Like we don't really talk like that.
Really?
Nah.
That's really weird because you're, like, great with your kid.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, when I see you with her or whatever, when you talk about it, like, you're completely in tune and you're not, like, don't fucking hug your child and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean? Oh, speaking of which, I saw Boomer Harvey when you ran out for that game-breaking game. The number, when he broke the record of fucking, what's his name?
When was this? Just the last
Yeah,
game?
yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Boomer Harvey ran out, and before he went through the banner or just after, he kissed his kids on the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he was hugging them and kissing them.
Oh,
And my
you can't
first thought
do
was,
that.
fuck, are they going to come after him for that one or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's so sad.
Oh, no.
When you can't kiss your little kid on the
Yeah,
lips or
dude,
whatever.
I thought about, the chivalry thing, yeah? Like, my old man didn't teach me about that shit. The one thing he said to me was, I must have been, like year 9, so what's year 9? 99, I would have been 13, 14 years old maybe? Is that how old I was in year 9? How old were you in year 9? I don't remember.
Pubescent
Year
to me.
9.
Yeah, year 9.
14?
14?
16.
15?
Yeah.
Somewhere there. He was
14,
driving
15,
me. He was driving me to shopping centre one night. I was going to go watch a movie with one of my sister's mates. Like randomly, like they've caught up looking for my sister. Got me, so I've just started chatting to them about whatever. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing tonight anyway? You know, it was like a Friday or Saturday night.
Was it a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was doing that. Like I was just whatever. Dude, you got to understand. Like, because I've got a twin sister. there was always girls like floating around in the house. Like I learned how to have friendships with women well before, like, you know, I should have, sort of thing, because I was just, you know, they're just people, man. Not fucking, you know.
You know, put them up on a pedestal.
No, it's not that.
That was my biggest problem. I could just not talk to women.
Yeah, but dude, that's the
And
thing.
they scared me like
in order
proper.
to try and pursue a relationship or something, I could never speak to women for that. But
Yeah.
I got friend zoned by more fucking dude. You're looking at the epitome of friend zone, man. Dude, trust me, I'm not even joking, man. It's actually pretty sad. But I remember, like, my old man was driving me to, like, Southland or something. Yeah, he's like, "Where you going anyway?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch a movie with such and such." And he sort of went quiet for like half a second, like he just sort of like he was focusing, like, you know, like he comes that speech, right? But this is as best as he got. He
You're
said,
just like, oh my god, here we
all
go.
he said to me was, if you go out, whether it's with a girl or with a group or whatever, if you're having coffee, buy a piece of cake as well. He goes, don't be a tight ass. He goes, if you haven't got money, come to me for money, but do not go out. And he goes, I'm not saying just with a bird, but I'm saying generally, don't go out and keep your hands in your pockets and not shout someone a drink or a beer or whatever.
That's good advice. And the funny thing is, my dad was always the same with me.
Yeah.
Like, always just, yeah.
That's all he ever said to me, man, as far as like relationships or people. That, I swear to God.
Don't be a tight ass.
Don't be a tight ass and be this like just unsociable cunt. That's it. That's it. And that, man, that stuck with me,
Yeah,
right?
that's good advice.
So, dude, I took it like, man, I'd be like, I'm talking like even from like 10 years ago, yeah? I'd be like 20 or whatever in a bar. And I could walk into, like, one thing I love about Melbourne is that you could go into a bar or a pub any time of day and you can just start chatting to whoever's next to you. Like, yeah, just walk in, order a beer, and someone's
mate.
next to you, like, "Okay, mate, how's your day going?" You know, like,
Yeah.
whatever. And just start small talk with cunts.
Yeah.
Man, I remember, like, when I first started going clubbing and stuff, I went to I was in a bar or a club, and just said to, like, there was some bird, like, standing next to me. I'm like, "Hey, how are you? Yeah, how's your night?" It's like, "Yeah, good." She just looked at me, like, all defensive, like, "Yeah, good."
Creep.
I'm like, I'm going to do a shot. You want one? I've got a boyfriend. I'm like, I'm not asking to fuck you, man. I'm just seeing if you want to have a shot with me or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Trying to be chivalrous.
yeah, it just that's what was instilled. Not because I'm a sick cunt, but just because that was normal,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then feminism, man, like all these fucking feminists, where it's like we're trying to take away, like it's like a power struggle
Yeah.
because you're just trying to be not because you're trying to be chivalrous, just being nice. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
you can't, can you?
You can.
There are people that appreciate it,
Yeah.
but then there are people that go way too far.
I think it's the same with any type of movement where it's always the extreme versions of that which get noticed.
Yeah,
So, you know, the majority of men are what would be considered feminists. The majority of women are what would be considered feminists, but like 1% of women, or less than 1%, you know, are would, you know, right-wing feminists.
Yeah.
You know, and they ruin it for the rest of everyone.
yeah, and then that's
And it's the same with, you know, crazy right-wing Christians, crazy right-wing
that's what
Muslims.
makes the fucking news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
They really do ruin it for everyone, don't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
that
like,
little group,
we've made really good progress with women's rights, but, you know, there is still a pay gap. It's not 30%, but there is still one.
Is there legitimately a pay gap?
Yeah.
For what? Like, what jobs are we talking about?
So I think
Is it industry specific?
it varies from industry to industry. I think that so it varies on study to study as well, but it's somewhere about between 5 and 10%.
Okay,
on
At our
average.
work, it wouldn't be.
I was just going to say.
It'd be the same, right?
Yeah, but yeah. So from industry to industry, it's
But
varies from about 5 to 10.
would a constable, a female constable in the police force earn less than a constable that was male?
No, because it's we can't. It's physically impossible. They're done by they rank on years and stuff. But in situations where you negotiate a salary.
But isn't it left up to the individual? If you're negotiating a salary, wouldn't that just be left up to the individual?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's still, yeah, there's still bias. Like you've got to admit that some people are sexist, even if it's only 5%.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not
still-
always. It's not. It doesn't always swing to the male's favour, man. I've got to.
No, it doesn't.
Do you know? I'm thinking, right?
But there's an example. I can't remember the exact example, but they looked at people who were like 2 years out of university,
Yeah.
and they looked at their pay rate, and there was a difference between male and female. So these people had the same experience. The only real difference was that the males earned 7% more, I think it was.
Same job, same company.
Same qualification. Same work, same qualification.
It was the same company though?
No, but it would be averaged out over a number
Yeah,
of
no,
companies.
no, you know what? That's not good enough, man. I'm sorry, because companies are going to be different. They're going to have different salaries, and what you negotiate is going to vary. You can take.
So it comes down to how you negotiate it, right? Rather than
that's to the individual.
It does come down to how you negotiate, but there's bias in men and women.
I was just going to say.
So if you've got a crusty old white dude or a starchy old white dude, as Tim would say, he might be you would never know, but there's just something in the back of his head where he's like, I'm going to offer this woman a little bit less for whatever reason.
Yeah, but at the same time,
and it's only 5%. It's not like huge, or 7%. It's not a huge amount of money.
At the same time, I know. Like, I'll give you an example, man. It could be. It's an individual example, right? But this is something that happened to me. Back in the day when I first finished my HR stuff, like when I did all the advanced dip or whatever the hell I did, I went looking for work, just even intern sort of level HR shit, yeah, like anything, recruitment or whatever, right? Couldn't find shit, right? Couldn't get anything anywhere. Then I remember I was chatting to this mate of mine, that I knew, and she was like, "Oh, I'm a recruitment officer for some fucking mob, some employment mob." I'm like, "Oh." Then we started talking about education things, and she's like, "Oh, you did HR?" I go, I did that course as well, like the same one as me. She says, "How far did you get?" I go, "I did all the way through to the advanced dip, like whatever it was, you know." Oh, I go, "How far did you get?" She says, "I never even finished it. I didn't bother." I'm like, "Well, how far did you get?" And it was like halfway through, like not even. I guess, and what happened? No, I started looking for work, found this company, went in, told them what I wanted, and got the job. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, they're telling me that I need degrees and shit to get even like a foot in. And then I thought about it. I go, well, let's see. She's a pretty blonde woman in her early 20s.
Yeah.
But,
that would happen all the time.
Yeah,
right?
you tell me that.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But at the same time, when is she going to get promoted to a manager?
Actually, I think she's a regional manager now.
No? Well, there goes my argument.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She got promoted. She got well promoted.
Yeah.
She had a, company car. Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, the bias
there's arguments on both sides.
Yeah, there's arguments on both sides, but it always just seems to be like, we want fair pay. It's like, who isn't getting fair pay, man?
Yeah,
like,
and that's what I mean. So they often put out that women get paid 30% less, which is true if you average it out across the entire population, but it doesn't take into account your degree, how often you work, whether or not you took time off to have kids. That's what I'm saying.
How are they averaging that out? Are they like just looking at every CEO like of every company? It's like, well, John Graham, he earns $50 billion a year, but poor Lisa Riley only earns $20 million a year.
Yeah.
But she's the CEO of a company she owns as well. Like,
yeah, and
those stats are bullshit.
It's another thing to bitch about. And
30% is dishonest. I mean, you could make an argument that it's social factors that lead to that 30%.
Yeah.
Like women are, told that they're not management material when they're young, so they're less likely to go for those jobs. They're less likely to go for, degrees that are likely to pay them a lot of money.
Yeah,
and it happens. Like a really clear example is if you take female school kids and you say, do this math test. You say, but you're only going to be tested against other women, and then you take another bunch and you tell them to do the same math test, but you say you're going to be tested against the boys. They'll do worse in the test where they're told they're going to be compared to guys.
Really?
Yeah, because it's subconscious, man. Like, and that's, your brain is a funny thing. So tell young girls that they're going to be competing against guys and they'll do worse. And it's the same with sport.
Yeah.
So if you get a bunch of women and you say, I can't remember the exact test. It was something like you would get a reward, or you could gamble, try and throw something in a bucket, and you would get twice that.
Yeah.
And if they were doing just women, the majority, it would be a significant amount of women would get competitive and try and throw the thing in the bucket.
Yeah.
But if they were competing against men, most of them wouldn't even try.
Let me ask you a question, man. How do you feel about the sport in general and women, genders being mixed? As in, women in the AFL, they were talking about bringing women in at AFL level to compete.
With the boys, with guys.
With men, yeah. How do you feel about that? Both of you. I'm just asking.
I think it's ridiculous.
Why is that?
Because the women are going to be getting fucked up like every week.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in contact with men. But I think if the government was going to, we're going to allocate a certain amount of money to supporting a female AFL league.
Well, they've started
that would
it.
be
They've got like an a female.
Yeah,
AFL.
next year it starts on TV for the first time.
Like they're actually going to start broadcasting it, right? I'm talking about putting women in competition with men on, like, say, NBL, AFL, whatever.
I guess it depends on the sport.
Okay.
Men have a clear advantage. We have 30% more muscle mass. Yeah.
Yeah, just physically stronger, like from the get-go.
Yeah, I know. Like,
So you can't.
women will argue that they're the strongest sex about everything.
Oh, when it comes to certain things like pain threshold and shit like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to just basic strength or whatever, they're
You
just
can beat
not
who
as
in an
strong.
arm wrestle.
The arm wrestle.
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm just picturing you practicing against, like, these Norwegian, like, bodybuilding, like, women just fucking bang.
Dude, there was this whole thing in the like mixed martial arts where there was a transgender competing in the
Yeah.
competing
Bill
in the
Burr
women's.
talked about it for a bit, man. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So it was a guy that went to a woman and he's
Yeah.
competing in the women and just absolutely destroying
destroyed them.
chicks, just destroying them.
it's even more complicated than that because, so not only do you have transgender, you've got, I'll call it transsex. So guys have an XY chromosome, girls have XX.
Yeah.
But there's also like XXY and XYY, and there's a whole bunch of different variations on your chromosome. So
Yeah. Your body mass, like, you just type.
yeah, but there was a woman, I can't remember which country, but it was somewhere in Africa. She was born a woman, had the woman parts, thought she was a woman, but she was well muscled,
Yeah.
and she was, breaking records. She was doing really well as a runner, and then they tested her genetics, and she was XXY, and
So more
was
predominantly
disqualified.
man. Predominantly male.
Well, no, she had
Just
a
had
Y
the male
chromosome.
gene.
Yeah?
Yeah, and she didn't know. She's like, I spent my entire life as a woman.
Yeah.
And they kicked her out for it. So it's more
It's funny.
complicated.
It's like
than-
that Bill Burr bit, man. It was in his last special. And he says to him, he goes, he's got no problem with him or her, like her competing, right? But he goes, but I'm a sports fan because it's UFC. To him, it's just a dickless dude beating the shit out of a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
And to what degree is that like true? Like, it's got like, it's right, yeah. But they'll argue at end for like. Sometimes you got to make a call, like,
Yeah.
dude, no, like you're a woman, or like, no, you're. Like,
Put your foot down. It's not
or a
allowed.
man, yeah, dude. I wouldn't feel right watching a dude just destroy the shit out of like,
Dude, it's like so many factors. Like they could get permanent brain damage because they're getting hit by a man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you know
not
what I mean?
saying. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying that women can't be stronger than men. Fuck oath they can, man. Dude.
Yeah, like Ronda Rousey would-
Rousey would like kill us, like all of us.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that women can't be as strong as men, but we're talking just bare basic genetic, ground level, no bullshit.
Well-
What about such and such? It's like, no, forget that. We're talking about the general population. Common sense.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it because I don't want to see you fucked up. I'm not saying it because I want to see you at home, cleaning my fucking kitchen. Like, does that make sense?
Dude, if the top chick in the UFC fought the top guy in the UFC at the same weight range, she would get absolutely mauled and destroyed.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You know what it would have been fun if Ronda Rousey went and fought what's the boxer's name?
Floyd Mayweather.
Mayweather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
she
an
was hamming
interesting
it up.
fight.
Yeah, she was hamming it up.
No, she didn't want to, and she came out and said that. But it was really popular
Yeah, that was.
online because he's a wife beater. He's been convicted a couple of times.
Yeah, that's
like-
fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a fun fight, especially if he hadn't been given like a huge amount of time to learn how to wrestle.
Grapple, yeah.
Yeah. She just takes him to the ground, chokes him out in like 3 seconds. Guy's just
Well,
purple.
like with grappling and shit, it's so hard to get good at. Like, so
Yeah.
she's been doing it her whole life. The advantage that she has is just he'll never catch it.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
and there's different types of muscles and stuff.
Alright,
And,
let's
and
just-
sure, he might be able to hit her a couple of times, but
Let's put
once
this
she's
out
got
there,
in, once
right?
she's in close.
Theoretically, who would win a fight between Mayweather and Rousey?
It depends on how much time he has to train.
Okay, straight, like...
I
think
honestly think that Ronda Rousey would probably
Do you reckon she'll fuck him
because
up?
she'd just take him
Yeah.
down. And
Like she'd slip a jab.
She'd slip a jab. She'd take one of his jabs probably. Like she's a tough bitch. And he's a pretty small dude. He's a pretty small dude.
She'd break his femur. she'd straight up kick him and he would be down.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because
He's got reach. He's got a lot of reach, but Ronda's got longer legs and he has arms.
They're probably the same weight. They're probably around the same weight.
Yeah, I think he is a very...
Yeah, he's a small
80
dude.
kilos, yeah.
he's
Ronda
small
would
dude.
be close to 80.
So, like, this is the thing, right? I want to believe that because I know that she's a mixed martial artist and she's fucking tough, right? Like, she'd kick the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So I want to believe that, and it'd be fucking hilarious to see her kick the fuck out of Mayweather.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he's not a shit boxer, right?
No, he's a
He's a machine, yeah.
For a reason, yeah.
Yeah. And I could just see him walking in there, like, ding, 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 and we're off. He just walks in, just fucking throws a jab, knocks her out, one punch, over.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
like,
what
like he would be able to hit far harder than she could.
That's what I'm... And
Yeah.
it's a woman.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
He would knock the fuck out of, like,
Most
Russian
people.
freaks.
Yeah.
You know, 6-foot beasts. He could
But the
knock-
thing is, he also tends to dance around the ring.
Or is it he's a
stay back.
defensive boxer? He's
Yeah,
not a
defensive boxer.
That's
Yeah.
his style. That's why he's the king. Yeah.
So,
Look,
Yeah.
well, now we're getting like we're breaking it down to compounds of their attack.
yeah.
It's like
I
well,
honestly think that because he's defensive, he's going to hang back, and Ronda's going to get a kick in eventually.
it's pretty funny though.
Yeah, but
I want to see it. I want to see it
wanna
now.
At the same time,
see this
if he was given a
Let's make it
couple of
happen.
months to learn how to defend
Make it
against kicks and stuff, like he would
honestly,
change it.
like I
yeah.
said, I want to believe that Rousey would fuck him up. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I can just see him walk in there just with the grin on his face, like ding, bang, and that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm seeing that, but it's
Yeah.
just like
I think it would come down to whether or not he could get that lucky punch in. Because if she
That
does
first
grab him,
punch.
if she does grab him, like I
Yeah, he's
honestly think that she will out grapple him for sure. She has too much skill. Like
you know what's funny is like he throws a punch and she does like some amazing hurricane rana like around his arm, ends up behind him, just
Black Widows breaks his neck with her legs, you know,
does this full fucking flip.
just crushes his
Yeah,
head
man.
between his.
you watch-
Does like a mountain, but with
do you
between
watch?
her
Do you watch
thighs.
I know like Johnny does. Do you watch like the UFC or boxing or
Nah,
anything?
I'm not really into sports.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
think you. That's the thing. I thought you'd be in it just for the human conditioning and competitiveness of it and achievement.
Yeah,
best sport.
Like UFC. Ah, come on, man. Not these old. Really?
The most brutal, the most technical, like the hardest.
like
The hardest.
hands down, I would enjoy watching UFC, and I've watched it before with friends and stuff, but it's not something I would go out of my way to watch.
Okay. What about the like? Do you watch any of the Olympics?
I have not seen 1 second of it yet.
I haven't
I'll
seen.
watch the kayaking when that happens, but that's about
Yeah, I
it.
remember you used to have a photo of you doing kayaking, like or
Yeah.
something. Rowing. I remember like it was your facey profile.
I remember that.
for
His
years.
muscles bulging in
Yeah,
the picture.
just
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
roided unit in a boat
Roided unit. Were you on the roids, Art?
Nah,
in the canoe.
I was barely even on
Oh,
anything.
actually, that brings it up. Kieran Perkins. Did you hear what this cunt said?
Oh, I haven't heard about him in ages.
I know. I read it this morning, and I'm like, is this for real? Fucking Kieran, I haven't heard about this cunt in ages, dude. Kieran Perkins said the state of swimming is disgusting right now with all the drug controversy shit. Because like they're booing the Russian athletes, like that woman that got the silver or something, silver got bronze.
Yeah,
The swimmer, and she started crying like after it because of all the press. Because she failed the drug test like how many months ago, and then she was cleared, and then controversially let to compete again. They're booing that. Then they got the Asian guy. Oh yeah, they're just stoking the fire with the China. Have you been following that? Like, dude,
did they allege that he pisses purple?
yeah, that's fucked.
I can tell you what that is.
Okay, hang on a second. Wait a second. One thing at a time. I laughed because this guy for the last 2-3 weeks has been saying that we're fucked. And, like, they're basically just China's just, like, preparing.
war's coming, yeah.
Grabbing arms, right? At the same time, have you seen what they're doing with the fishing? Have you seen what they're doing with the fishing boats?
250 fishing boats.
Yeah.
In quotation marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heading towards Japan. Dude, they're just pushing their boats further into the sea. And they've got, like, planes flying overhead.
Yeah.
They're protecting the fishing boats.
And those islands have escalated. Well, not escalated, but they've been finished off rather quickly. So there's 2 more airports the size of the one that I was talking
I
about.
died. Right.
over.
And they're lined with jet fighter sized bunkers.
Yeah, hangers and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I laugh.
I wonder what
because
that's for.
I'm picturing these boats just getting pushed out towards Japan, but these F-16
Yeah.
flying like
Breaking the sound barrier.
really? And then do you know what they're doing? Like that Aussie swimmer basically said that he called the Chinese swimmer a drug cheat. This guy failed the drug test like a year ago, 4 years ago. I don't know when it was. I should have gotten the facts down. Right? He's what's it called? Failed the drug test. So Chinese have come out saying we want an apology. Like it's disgusting. Like they're fucking pushing it. Like Australians are just disgusting and disrespectful. Then the Aussie guy won, and he said this is basically like they came out and said this is a victory between good and evil. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Wow.
Meanwhile, like Arthur's been talking about how the Chinese are preparing arms. You know what I mean? Just stoking the fire.
Just ramping up everywhere.
Yeah. Kieran Perkins came out and he said because of all this shit that's going on with swimming and all the bad rap and like all that crap, he said he wants a one-strike policy introduced. You get caught like doing drugs, you're out.
Yeah, you should get banned for life.
Like that's
Yeah.
it. What would you say regarding that? Like not even just swimming, but sport in general, man. If you get caught with a performance-enhancing drug,
So you'd have to have a right of appeal. Because I think in the case of that Chinese swimmer, it was not a banned substance, and then it became banned, and he got tested and failed shortly after.
Plus, there's other factors as well. Like, they found that in normal, like, supplements, they find traces of, like, steroids or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I know you can unknowingly take like a
you can
diuretic
unknowingly,
or something.
yeah. So to impose a lifetime ban on someone that unknowingly took it, that's where it kind of gets a little bit shady.
Yeah,
so.
you would have to have an appeal process.
Okay,
But yeah, I tend to agree that once
you say
there's
one
significant
strike?
evidence that...
Yeah, significant
Yeah.
evidence that they did do it, like, purposely.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them off.
you reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like
reckon.
as in you're gone. That's it.
Yeah.
No three-strike
So-
shit.
Back to kayaking, there was one of our Australian gold, I think, Olympian. Or he got a medal at the Olympics, and then he was tested. He was a kayaker, and he got tested at a surf lifesaving event. Tested positive for steroids. He's like, "Oh, I must have taken a drink on my brother's drink bottle by mistake." His brother was a rugby player. So it's like, just to save his own ass, he just chucks his brother under the bus.
Sorry, bruz. Just go.
And that's the thing with sports like rugby and like MMA, UFC, whatever. If you are taking drugs, you're putting the other person at like severe risk because you're hitting like harder than humanly possible.
Yeah.
So you can like give someone brain damage, you know. Just
Yeah.
So you should get fucking banned.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon it's a good rule.
Yeah, I think it's
Like
a good rule.
fuck them. If
Yeah.
you're going out of your way to take a performance-enhancing drugs,
It's the only way they're really going to get rid of it
And
because
they should.
yeah.
It shouldn't be just banned substance. It should be like against the spirit of the rules. So you've got cyclists who have complete blood transfusions
Yes.
the day before
that's
a
the
race.
thing. We were talking
And you've
about
got, I
it.
think,
Sorry, keep going. No.
there was an incident a few years ago where it found out that the swimmers were sticking a hose up their butt and filling their intestines with water so they would float.
I think I've heard that.
you
actually,
serious?
yeah.
I'm serious, man. That used to happen.
That's like next level cheating, man.
Yeah. And you've got things like the shark skin suits that they had. They had the bubbles would attach. Yes.
Bubbles?
Yeah.
Hang on.
So it was a special fabric, and basically it wouldn't absorb water, and it would trap air bubbles on the surface of the fabric, make
Yeah.
them slide through the water easily.
Made
It's
out of
called-
shark skin.
No, it was just called shark skin.
Oh.
But all
Is
it
that
did
what
is
Thorpe wore?
yeah, all those bodysuits made out of a special fabric that helped
Can't
them.
they still wear them?
It can't be made out of that fabric, but I think they can only wear the pants now. The guys.
What's the difference?
Well, the shark skin would glide through the water.
No, I'm saying they're still wearing the pants.
No, without that fabric. So it was a special type of fabric.
Oh,
That
like
would
a
trap.
poly-
That would trap air bubbles on the surface.
Would that seriously make you swim faster?
Yeah, because imagine the drag resist difference between water on air and water on your skin or fabric.
Sorry, man. I'm picturing a dude jumping in like it's the Olympic event.
It's just covered in bubble wrap.
Just splash right into the bottom,
Yeah.
man.
But it works on the same principle as the cavitation torpedoes I was talking about yesterday.
oh, where they're
the last
enclosed.
time.
They're encased in the bubble.
No, it's just the tiny little bubbles, like less
Hang
than
on,
a
wait,
mil
those
across.
torpedoes, are they just tiny bubbles that...
No, that was an entire bubble.
Yeah.
But because the water didn't drag on the surface of the torpedo, they could go faster.
Yeah, that's what I pictured.
with the bubbles,
I pictured the whole thing
yeah.
ensconced in like a big bubble.
Yeah, but with the suit, it's just lots of tiny little bubbles.
Really?
So it instead of dragging on the surface of the swimming suit, it just drags on the surface of the bubble.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, and it made them go like fractionally faster, and they banned it.
But they can still wear the pants.
No, yeah, but not in that fabric.
Not in that fabric.
Yeah.
And just pick a guy wearing like cargos and just sinking to the bottom of the pool. I was going to say, dude, I'll cut you off before. I remember we talked about this a while ago. Overzealous parents and shit. You know, like sporting events, like following their kids like that. Oh, because that dad punched the ref.
Punched the ref. He was 16 years old. Yeah.
Have you heard about the Hungarian swimmer? I know you wouldn't have.
No.
There's a Hungarian swimmer, right? This woman, and she's like gold medalist. I think she won like in London, or she came second in London, or some shit. Her coach is her husband, right? And 1 second is gone viral because like she won gold, and like he's doing these like ridiculous like celebrations in the crowd, like he's losing his shit, like oh my god, like he's fucking, and it became viral, like squad goals, partner goals, like all that sort of shit. Like this is what you need, like la la la. This guy's just so overly, like just oh my god. Like,
What was he just dancing and just going crazy?
Like you just, if you Google it, like you'll see it, right? But then it backfired because she won, but she didn't break her world record, and he's like fucking lost his shit.
Cracked it.
Man, lost his fucking, like, losing it. And they're saying that, like, it's all sketchy, the relationship is sketchy. She's come out saying, oh, he's just emotional and it looks worse than it is. And, we have faith. We pick our coaches, to push us to do, go harder and go faster. So, get caught up and all that. But I thought about it, like, dude, like, she won. She didn't break her own world record. Like, who gives a fuck?
No, you can imagine at home you'd be so controlling and just like
don't
everything.
take a shit out of line.
Watching everything she eats.
Yeah.
Yeah, put that down.
Could you like? This is what I don't get, right? Like, there's. Okay. Do you know much about you? You would. Do you know much about Mike Tyson, man? At all?
No, nothing.
Right.
I know
Mike Tyson had like the most famous trainer, Customato, right? Who trained like it was a Floyd fucking what's his name?
Brother?
No. Patterson. Was it
Yes,
Floyd Patterson?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Customato was just a famous boxing trainer. Yeah, had a habit of taking these up and comers and just turning them into stars. Took Mike Tyson, right? Who was like a juvenile delinquent, and said, you know what? We can take his energy and put it in the ring, and it'll be
Focus
intense.
it.
Yeah, right. And that's what he did. Took this teenager who was getting into all types of shit, put him in the ring, and they accredit him to like Tyson's, peekaboo style, where he just hides behind his glove, walks in, and just starts fucking dropping cunts.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what made him like the coach tailored Tyson's strengths, made the most out of his weaknesses, and turned him into a champion, right? And then they said, well, after he died, then his focus dropped from like that style of fighting, and then everything changed, right? I get why a good coach would be fundamental to like the athlete or the person competing. Good, like coaches can transform.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Like, huge.
They can change the momentum. They can do everything. But then at the same time, like you strip back, it's like this dude. I thought about this guy losing this shit at his wife, right? Because she didn't get the world record, right? Like, dude, end of the day, she's swimming.
Yeah.
She's by herself in that fucking pool, 50 meters from you, man. Like, you can tell her what you want. Speed it up around here. Slow it down around there.
She's trying her hardest.
Don't swallow. She's doing what she can. But then it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, she did what she could. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've got to approach it properly,
Yeah.
Like she did well.
She did well.
She did really well.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, at what point, like, do you cut that off? Like, just step back, man. Like, relax.
Just, this is her moment.
Yeah, this is, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Like, she's not going to win the race after she's already finished it. Like,
man.
she's not going to break her
chew it
PB.
out. Like,
Yeah.
chew it out.
Enjoy the moment.
Going back to sexism and stuff, did you guys see all the titles that came out? The first woman, not the first woman, but the first American gold medalist, Thrasher. Her last name was Thrasher, and she got it for shooting. But then all the articles came out. Her boyfriend is a big time rugby player. No. So it's like Joe Blogg's girlfriend wins gold medal.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, a lot
So
of.
she wasn't even like the lead in the story.
No, it was just so and so's girlfriend wins a gold medal.
There was also the other one of the diver.
Yeah.
You see the one about the diver? There was a synchronized diving team, like two men doing synchronized diving.
Yeah.
And then they cropped out the one guy from it and just had the one dude. Like, he's on the front page of like papers everywhere, but it's just the one shot of one dude in his speedos, like with his arms above his head. They just happened to crop out the other guy that made it happen.
How shit would you feel if you're that other guy?
Dude, like, for fuck's sakes, man. Like, I'm pretty sure if Usain Bolt was part of a relay and the team won gold, they wouldn't just have Usain Bolt on the front of the paper. They'd have, like, the whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, come on, man. Like, I'm talking about a relay, not the 200 sprint.
But, yeah. And our female rugby 7
Yeah,
won.
they smashed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, after our first female rugby team in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And they were, like, put together a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they
First
fucked
talent
people up.
scout. Yeah.
Yeah.
They won.
Those tough Aussie bitches.
Yeah.
Dude, do you remember, like, Australia used to be the best at the Olympics, man? Do you remember, like, when we were kids, like, 94?
Back when the boomers, the NBA boomers.
Yeah,
were
yeah,
around
like
shit.
track and field, swimming, like, we used to fuck cunts up in the Olympics, man.
Yeah, we used to, we always do much better than our population suggests. Like, we were winning the gold medal tally at one point.
Yeah.
This Olympics.
In
And
relation
we're
to,
a
yeah.
tiny country compared to
Yeah.
the US, China, and everyone else.
Yeah, it was always,
Yeah.
remember, it was always the same countries. It'd be like US, China, like England would have a few heads up there.
Russia.
Yeah, Russia. Who are the...
Also the fattest country in the world, which is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, that's
There's a little bit of disparity. Like,
Yeah, so it's like
best
we're
at
the
the
best at
Olympics
sport.
per capita.
We're
and also
such
the
a...
fattest.
That doesn't make sense. We're such a sport-mad nation.
I know, man.
But how are we the most obese? Like, it doesn't...
All the sugar.
You reckon?
Yeah.
But everyone at some point has been part of, like, sport. Like, all of us growing up, 9 times out of 10, or maybe it's just me, like, and my friends, but
Nah, most
people were involved.
Yeah, everyone does
Everyone
sport.
did, like, after-school swimming or basketball or cricket or whatever. Like, everyone did. And especially our generation, like, man, we were, like, active. We were probably, like, the last of the active generation. Like, everyone after us.
Yeah, don't we have compulsory swimming programs? Like, everyone in
man.
school has to go swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we be
you
the most
can't-
obese?
I'm just horrible at cricket and football, but I played cricket and football
Yeah,
in
you
high
still
school
play.
because I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you still fucking played, man.
So how long have we been one of the most obese countries? Like, is it...
That's actually a good
It's like
fact.
a
I've got
decade
no
or
idea.
something.
Because you were just saying from our generation, everyone was active. Maybe it's
Yeah,
sort
actually,
of
that's a
slump.
stat. Hang on. I'll suss it out.
It's older people. It's like 50%. It's all older people.
It's all older people.
Yeah. And once you hit your late 30s.
Oh, so it's not us, like our generation. Because, I mean, everyone I know is part of a gym or a fucking health
Yeah.
craze or a shake, some shit, active
Yeah.
wear, to the
But
shops.
there's everyone you know.
What do you mean?
Well,
Oh, come on, you say you don't know people like that?
no, I do. But just because I hang around fit and healthy people doesn't mean that the rest of the population
Can you
isn't.
picture other dude going to like a Mason's fucking meet for like a New Age Mason's lodge?
Yes.
And all these dudes inside look like him. They're all just fucking ripped units and they're all like in science. I'm a biochemist slash solicitor slash astronaut.
I think
My
you guys.
wife.
I think you guys forget that I work at the same place you do.
I reckon it's just a front, man.
Are you a secret Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my friends is a Freemason.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, sort of a friend. Yeah.
Sort of a friend. I can't talk about it. Like,
No.
The 33rd degree.
just Grand
No, he's not that
Dragon.
high yet.
What was that place near your
It's
old
32
joint?
as well. Pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's
It's 32 degrees.
No, I'm pretty
Is it-
sure that it
is-
goes up to 32. I don't think there is 33, is it?
Nah, 33rd degree is like when you reach the sort of the pinnacle.
pinnacle?
Yeah,
Okay.
33rd degree, yeah.
I didn't know that. What was the place called? That was,
33? It's like...
what was the place around from your old joint, the gully near the bungalow? Remember, we drove past it one night, and he said we've got to go in there one night. It was like a Mason.
A Freemason lodge up in the Fenchurch Gully main shops.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
did it say?
there's
What was
one-
there was a sign on the front.
Yeah, so it had like these big wrought iron like gates.
The gates,
like it
yeah.
looked ominous as. Like it looked like Mr. Burns, like sort of like that entry.
Release the hounds.
They've got their own hospital and stuff as well.
I have on the sign it was like this is the what was it? Something really bizarre.
Yeah, it had some fucked up name.
Like the Eastern chapter of the
some shit.
Eastern chapter of the Grand Masters or something like that. It was
Yeah.
just like really bizarre. It's like what?
There's that Mason Lodge out in Princess Highway on the way just before Caulfield. And I've always wanted to go into that building, man. Like it's fucked. I don't know. Do you know anyone that's a Mason other than like your mate? Do you know?
That one in Fenchurch Gully though looks so shady, man.
How,
Like,
how do we get
so
in?
shady.
Like seriously, I know you got to be nominated.
You have to get invited, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
or
be
you have
nominated.
to be a grandson of someone who's a
No,
Freemason.
can't you just be like an associate?
Yeah.
Or you have to save a Freemason's life.
It's the stages.
Sacrifice a lamb at this particular time at this particular place.
No, honestly, how do you go about getting in?
You have to be nominated.
You do 100% have to be nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there is that still going like in Melbourne anyway? Like, I mean, is there a community?
Yeah, there's still Freemasons.
Yeah, no, but I don't know anyone that's a Freemason.
Tony Abbott was a Freemason.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
Don't know whether Malcolm Turnbull is, but I think John Howard was a Freemason as well.
I'll say Malcolm Turnbull definitely is, I reckon.
Yeah, you reckon?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. I've got no
Super
idea.
rich politician.
No, but like, I honestly don't know anyone that's a Freemason. The closest I've ever come to being in company of a Freemason was an ex-girlfriend, like years ago. When I brought up Masonry, she had no idea what it was, and we were driving past that one in Corfu. I go, it's a fucking Masonic lodge. She goes, what? I go, it's a Freemasons, man. I go, blah, blah, blah. And then she came back to me like a week later, and she goes, I think my grandfather and my father were Masons. I'm like, really? Yeah, and then she asked him outright one day, and he's like, yeah, but the lodge closed down or something, and then he never found out where the next one was, or
Yeah.
something like that. He never followed it up and just left it.
There's nothing too sus about them. Like, I think it's literally just a bunch of rich people sitting around in a room making deals, but not like altering the course of history. Like,
Do you reckon?
yeah, it's like I want to build an apartment block. It's like, oh, I have a concreting company. And like, okay, sweet, I'll use you. I won't bother trying to find competition. And they just,
I think you're just
scratch each
playing
other's
down
backs.
the impact of the Freemason.
Why would they be so
influence.
secretive if that was the case?
It's
Because
fun.
there is so much secret. Like the amount of people I've explained who the to people who the Freemasons are, like no one knows.
Yeah, no, they're completely oblivious.
Like I've told so many people, they're like, what? And I explain it, they're like, oh, what? They still don't.
You know what's trippy is once you start reading about it, then you start moving around, like, say, the city or Melbourne or whatever, and you just see Masonic signs everywhere. Like that, right around the corner from my house, there's a Masonic nursing home and health retreat centre. And I'd never noticed it until whatever. I'm like, shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, once you know, you start noticing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, on the $1 bill, the American one, they got the Freemason symbols and shit. Like,
They're all seeing eye.
there's that, and then there's also something else. One of their symbols is on the dollar bill or whatever.
Yeah, but I think... Wouldn't it be just a little bit fun?
Just to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying like everything that happens in there is above board, but I think it's mostly just people scratching each other's back. And say if you're Tony Abbott, and you go in there and you've got a guy who builds roads, that's not exactly a kosher thing, is it? So they chuck up a couple of conspiracy theories,
I think you're just totally ruining Johnny's life right now, man.
Yeah, everything I know is not true.
Everything you know about
yeah.
things you don't know is not true.
I don't know, just when you, it is secret, we don't really know anything about it. There are different degrees to work your way up, and people under that don't know what is above, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and there are people in high places that are a part of the Freemasons, so it's kind of just a bit like,
yeah.
what's going on?
Was the fact that Tony Abbott was a Freemason have any effect on the reason? Is that the reason he was, elected Prime Minister? Or elected to lead the Liberal Party?
But, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it would have a big part.
Yeah, because
personally,
he's part of a group of people that essentially have a lot of money and a lot of influence. And maybe it's going to be in their best interest to do Tony Abbott a favour, get him to lead the Liberal Party, and then maybe he's going to give them a favour. Like,
Everyone's just doing favours for everyone.
yeah, everyone's just scratching each other's back, and
I'm just picturing those political cartoons you always find on the net of capitalism and shit, and there's always that pig, covered in either the flag or something, just eating dollar bills.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
someone's
yeah.
shoveling into a trough.
Yeah. Totally.
That's what this podcast's just become. You know what I mean? Anti
1%.
It's fucked up, man. Man, those census numbers, I was just thinking about, those census numbers are fucking way off, man. I was at a mate's the other day and we were talking about it, yeah? And he said, they're fucking idiots for doing the census now because half of, say, Melbourne, for example, is overseas. Every Greek is in Greece right now enjoying the end of summer.
The summer, yeah.
So they're not going to be here to do their census, yeah? And that's when we looked it up, and I read, when I was doing my one, it said, if you're overseas, we just take statistics from... Literally, the quote is, we take the numbers from the port of authority, whatever, or the customs and migration, so you will be counted. You won't be forgotten. But then, but that's not all the census is. It's not just a head count.
Yeah.
The census, if you do it, yeah, it says, what's your name, Did you stay at this? What is your current address? Have you been staying there for the last 5 years? Where were you before that 5 years?
Religion and stuff like that.
Yeah, religion, annual salary. Do you do any volunteer work? Do you need anyone to come and care for you? Do you know anyone? Like, it's all shit like that. Yeah. It's enough to. It's not enough to just head count everyone at the fucking the
border.
Yeah, at the border, and say, oh yeah, him too. Yeah, that's 20,000. You know, Tunisians in Melbourne. It's like, well, what about all the other fucking information? Did they just guesstimate it?
Probably.
No, seriously. And then
I get if those kind of things are out by a couple of percent, it doesn't matter.
yeah, a couple of percent, but still, like we're talking
Yeah.
about because of those numbers. Because then you get Pauline Hanson saying that 98% of Australians disagree with halal. Because there's only 2% of Australians that are halal. Do you know what I mean? They're just
Yeah.
spurious fucking numbers that people just throw around in the air. Like, you know what? I found the fact
Did you see all that scaremongering about, even if you're not Christian, you have to put down Christian because the Muzzies are going to come and take over the country?
what?
Yeah, people...
Who said that?
I was going around Facebook people saying that even if you're not Christian, you have to put down that you're Christian because every Muslim is going to put down that they're Muslim. And then the government's going to believe that we're a Muslim nation. But again, they only take up 2% of the country. They're not going to take us over anytime soon. Like, think about what percentage of the population is gay, and they can't even get the right to marry. It's all right. I think we're safe from the Muzzies at this moment. Like,
That is so true. I never thought of it like that. I never thought of it like that. That is fucking spot on.
and then the majority of that 2% don't want to change anything anyway. So it's like.
That 2%,
Anyway, yeah, the more-
0.0005% want to change it.
Yeah, the Muzzies are coming for you.
So if I don't do my census,
You'll be fined for every day that you don't.
when do I have until to do it?
Dude, it's been all over the. I know it's been all over the. They sent you some paperwork.
because it was hacked. There was some denial of service attacks on it, so you've got a couple of days, but just check every day and yeah.
Why would you hack the census mob?
Oh, well, okay,
No,
so
no,
yeah.
seriously,
yeah.
what's the motivation to hack the census mob?
Were they really hacked, Dim?
No, well, I don't think they were. I think they just fucked up.
Yeah.
They need to justify all the money they spent.
So the thing is, do you know what a denial of service attack is?
No.
Okay, so you know how last week I was talking about exploit kits?
Yeah.
Yeah, so say you've got an exploit kit and you go around and you log on to 1,000, 10,000 computers and you've got access to that computer. You can make it do stuff. You
Yeah.
can take photos of people naked and whatnot. You can always, you can also program it to ping. So just like knock on the door of the census website. So apparently,
overload the server.
Yeah, apparently these denial of service attacks are pretty cheap. So you spend a couple $100, and then 10,000 computers just start knocking on the door of the census webpage, and that's it. And it gets overloaded.
What's the motivation to take out census other than just like, ha ha ha? This is what we do?
Why do people smear shit on the wall of a public toilet?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not right.
Or dudes at work that take a shit and they don't flush it,
Oh God, some people at our work need to see a dietitian.
and you actually feel like you're going to pass out when you walk into the cubicle.
Yeah, but, dude, do you want that? Man, that's like, you know, like the smoker area. Not even our work, like any work, right? Because it's the same at every job I've ever worked. You walk in, and generally it's okay, but then sometimes just like it just looks filthy. Like there's just someone spilled coffee while they were making one, just left it on the sink, left the milk out, sugar's been like tins just open, you know, ants fucking moving around.
Anyway, speaking of shit smeared on a wall, have you guys heard about the other One Nation senators?
Yeah, he fucked up. They don't even know if he's going to be able to like.
So that's one of them. So Rodney Colton from
Speaking
New
of
South Wales.
shit smearing on a wall.
Yeah, so he's got two
Rodney.
theft convictions in 2 different states, and if you want to be a senator, you can't be awaiting trial for a. And I think one of them just got resolved, but the other guy.
What did he steal?
Yeah, what did he steal?
So in New South Wales, he stole car keys. In Western Australia, he stole a hire car.
He actually stole a hire car, or it's just...
Yes, well, in Victoria at least, theft of car is kind of weird. So, like if I took your keys without your permission, that could technically be stealing your car. Because for complicated reasons. But I don't know what it's like in Victoria, but I don't know what he did with that car. But he's going to go to court for it, so it must have been kind of serious.
What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about Malcolm Roberts, who is the second Queensland senator.
Is this the one? I think this is the one I heard about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Crazy dude. In 2011, he wrote a letter to Julia Gillard titled, "Let right be done, though the heavens should fall." Okay, so he doesn't believe in climate change, and he believes he's a sovereign citizen, which means he doesn't believe in the government, and he believes he is immune to taxation and law.
Sounds like he's part of the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Freeman's are back, man.
In the letter, he wanted to be financially compensated for the carbon tax. So, in the first chapter, this guy's crazy. I'm going to apologise for the grammar, but this is copied from his letter. I, commonly addressed by the name Malcolm Ian Roberts, in my correct capacity as beneficiary to the original jurisdiction, being majority in age, competent to testify, a self-realised and free sentient man upon the land, may yes be yes, my no be no, do state that the truths and facts herein are of first-hand personal knowledge, true, correct, complete, certain, and not misleading, so help me God.
So, because he thinks that it's true.
Yeah, and, okay, so
He believes it.
he has 28 points to prove that the government is not real, and he wanted $10,000 compensation for each point Julia could not refute.
Why 10,000? Just because.
I don't know, just because. So,
Sounded good.
okay, so I've got a couple here. I, Malcolm Ian Roberts, the living soul, has not seen or been presented with any material facts or evidence that the Commonwealth of Australia is not a corporation registered to the United States of America Securities Exchange, is not a society, and is not a trustee in the public trust. I believe that none exist, and believe that none exist.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in the country Australia.
Okay, this is what I've got to say,
Australia.
right?
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in the country Australia and all that sort of shit, but he believes in God.
Yeah.
Does anyone not see anything wrong with that?
Yeah.
He believes in something you can't see, but
He has faith in something that doesn't, it cannot be
Also-
proven beyond reasonable doubt, but he doesn't believe in a constitution that's like...
He also believes he has not been presented any evidence that he, the living soul, cannot resign from society at any time and believe that none exist.
So he wants to be...
He thinks he can just remove himself from society and essentially be immune from taxation and
Well,
legislation.
you can, but you'd have to run for the hills and
Yeah.
live as
Off
a
the
cliff
grid,
dweller,
off the grid.
off the grid, in a cliff, in a cave.
Hermit style.
Yeah,
There was also another
plenty
9.
of people living off the grid.
There was also another 9 points of evidence he wanted to prove global warming was real, and he wanted 10,000 points for each one. Julia Gillard could not.
So in other words, his whole plan is to make like $2 million from just rubbish points and then live off the grid.
Yeah, like
Good plan, dude. I wish we could
almost
all do that.
$300,000
Yeah.
for these. Yeah, and it was just ridiculous. Like prove up and show all material facts or evidence that global atmospheric temperature has been rising during the past 12 years since 1988 and is continuing to rise.
You know what the funny, dude, is he a biochemist? Is he a
Nah.
fucking science man? Is he gonna,
Can you go to a website and read?
Yeah, go type in Google
What does he
stats
want?
of global warming since the 1900s, and
you have to bring him along to, the labs and say, alright, listen,
Okay.
mate, this is how it is.
Yeah, so that's 2 senators. One's awaiting conviction. The other one doesn't believe in the government.
And they want to run?
so he's a senator and he doesn't believe in the government.
Yeah,
How does that work? He doesn't believe for the system that he's applying for, that he's working in.
yeah. So
Make up your mind, dude. Like,
I
go join a
instead
tribe
of-
or something.
He's going to get paid. That guy's going to get paid $200,000, by the way, per year. So plus benefits, so plus all the flights and rent and.
And he
shit like
doesn't
that.
believe in the system
I reckon
itself.
we should just give him a paycheck. It's like
I need to pee again. I'll be back.
we have not been presented with any material facts or evidence that Malcolm Ian Roberts is a true person and believe that none exist.
I don't know who you are, mate. Fuck off. That's a joke.
Yeah.
How,
And you have to.
see, this is the thing I don't get, right? You're telling me this, all right? That this guy doesn't believe in the government, is blah, 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 all this mumbo jumbo, but he's a senator now. Like, you know, he got in. People voted for him. How does that happen? Like, how can we not run? Dude, you keep thinking that I'm taking a piss every time I say you need to run.
It's a photo of the guy. Do yourself a favour and look up Malcolm Roberts.
Fuck's sakes, man.
He's just... He's everything you would hope that a crazy Christian person looks like.
How does that guy not have a cult? Seriously.
Yeah. Well, he is a cult.
He is a cult, but how is he not a leader? Oh, there's a cult out in... have you heard about the one in New Zealand? New Zealand? It was called the...
New Zealand?
Yeah, Gloria. Some dude, like, back in the... I don't know when, I can't remember. I wrote half the facts down. He bought some estate and he started a community called Gloria Vale. Yeah, that's the dude.
That's a senator.
Oh.
Yeah, that. Dude, off the west coast of South Island in NZ, man, there's like it's like an Amish community, like as close as to an Amish community you're going to get. And, dude, these people are fucked. Like, there's about 50, is it 50? Hang on. 50, no, 500. 500 members. Not 50, 500 members. It's a Christian community, extreme Christian community. The women are raised to believe that it's their job to submit to a man. Like,
anytime he wants.
Outright,
Yep.
from like 12 years old, like, marriages can sort of occur. Yeah? From 12 onwards. This is in New Zealand. Like, this isn't fucking Utah.
So basically like a slave to the man. Yep.
Right? And it's like the best, a woman's top job possible is to be a wife. Like a subservient wife. Like, that's it. And then, this is the fucked up part, yeah? They have this, like, marriage sort of ceremony where they're united. And then after that, man, it's the will for her to submit to the man. They're carried to a room of consummation. And that's where it's expected to believe that they lose their virginity in that room. Is that
Get her, boys. It's fucking time.
Yeah, man.
Hold it out now.
I'm serious, dude. This is in New Zealand, South Island, West Coast.
And so they're allowed to get away with this just because they're like a...
Oh, it's just, they're not Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and these fucked up cults, like, that's a cult, man. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can call it the guise of whatever, right? But that's extreme Christian. And they said they don't want to, they live away from, like, society, like this Malcolm cunt wants to live, off the grid. They live off the grid because they don't want to be involved with the sin and, like...
Sin of the system or whatever.
Yeah, and all that sort of shit that the rest of the world is now, like, has fallen to. They want to, they want to be above that. Dude, like, they're raising little girls to believe that once you're 12 or 13,
You're
like,
just
once
a
you start
slave for
bleeding,
the guy.
you've got to be a slave.
For a brief amount of time in Victoria, it was legal to rape your wife.
What?
In like the late 80s, I think.
80s?
Yeah.
1800s or 80s?
No, 1980s. So,
Fuck off, man.
so the way law works is you've got the government writes it down, the state government writes it down, and then it's up to the judge to interpret law. And there was a case where a man was getting charged with raping his wife, and the judge said that no, marriage is consent to sex. And then once he ruled that meant that that's how the law should be interpreted. So that meant that marriage was consent to sex.
Yeah.
But then, just getting married, that's enough.
Yeah, but then the government panicked, and it was like that way for 2 days. They just quickly like...
So
I think maybe even the next day, like early next day, they quickly like sign this new piece of amend the legislation to like write down no, marriage is not consent.
How could you let something like that just creep through?
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone took advantage of it.
Just that one window, that one day.
He just leaves work early, he just grabs his keys. I'm sick.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. How's that?
Like, what?
That's a judge, man. Like, marriage is consent to sex.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What is fucking wrong with you, man? You picture some starchy, crusty old fucking just left over from the 50s, you know?
Yeah.
Like, well, if he's a judge in the late 80s, he'd be a judge, how old do you reckon he'd be? Like 60s, 50s? Easy.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that means he was born, like, in the 30s.
Yeah.
The guy,
Just held on to it.
Yeah.
he was born in the 30s, grew up during
like-
the mass migration after
Yeah.
World War II.
Never changed.
Yeah.
Man.
Here's my opportunity, boys.
Like, you know what? Like, I do that sometimes when I'm out, and I just see, just get people, like, dude, you gotta come people watching, like, in my hood for a bit, man. Like, it's a far away place from anywhere you've grown up, I'm telling you, man. I go to Safeway, or, like, just Wavos or something, I'm just looking at the people, and sometimes, like, I get stared at, like, sometimes, like, these older sort of people, like,
Yeah.
do you have any...
This young
I'm not
hooligan.
even- do you know what's fucked up? It's weird, because I go to, like, Safeway, yeah, and I get my little basket, so I just fill it, like, random shit, man, like, you know, fresh produce, cheese, milk, cereal.
Yeah.
It's never like, you know, I don't look, it's not like I've just got bags of chips and chocolate bars and energy drinks, like, yeah,
Just a couple of Diet Cokes in there.
How often do you see that? A lady pushing
it's horrid,
a
man.
trolley, and it's just like those
Just shit.
the mini packets of chips inside the big packet.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
then
5
party-
of those, like
party
3
pies.
party pies, like 10
Party
bottles of Coke,
pies and
like
sausage rolls.
Oh man,
It's like, what the fuck are you eating?
like literally.
People need to be taught how to cook in schools, man.
Yeah, they should.
People just don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
like you're killing yourself.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a while, but you're doing it.
Dude, I swear to God, I get my little basket, I go to the conveyor, and I start putting it down, and then, like, the woman before me, the woman after me, like, if it's some older woman, like, probably, like, in her late 70s, early 80s, right? Especially if she's not, like, European, like, Greek or Serbian, like, in that area, it's a lot of Greek, Serbian, stuff like that. They just look at me, and it's
the
like,
death look.
they clutch their bags like I'm a criminal, right? Because I just look like, look at me, like, especially when I go home after work, you know, like, look like shit or something. They just look at me, and they get, like, petrified, and then then they look at the conveyor to see what I'm actually buying,
Yeah.
and their face changes, like they're baffled that I'm actually just buying
Like-
sustenance and nutrients.
Organic beetroots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's he shopping for? Clearly, these aren't his items. I'm not saying it's making piss. I'm being 100%.
No, I believe you, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. Like, I just flash him a smile. Like, I'm just like, hi, you know, like, how you doing? Like, and they just look at me like perplexed. Like, what the fuck? Where's this guy coming from? Like, serious, it's really weird, dude. It's fucking strange. But then, like, I think about it, okay, well, if this woman is 80 and we're in 2016, then,
Completely different time.
yeah, she
Yeah.
would have grown up literally during World War II. She would have been 10, you know? Like, shit like that. It's fucked up.
It's amazing how much the world's changed in such a small amount of time.
Oh,
though.
yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Like, big time. Like, just...
Was it 1904 or 1906 where the Wright brothers flew for 13 seconds or something?
06? 110 years, you reckon?
Yeah, I think it was 06.
Yeah,
it was 04
they're
or
disputing
06.
that. You know about the big... They did it in the Brazil. They did it in the opening ceremony. They're disputing that it was the Wright brothers that actually flew for the first time. They say it was a Brazilian dude. Yeah. Yeah. Your ancestors, mate. They weren't the first mob.
It doesn't
Bullshit.
matter.
You've never heard of them before. Who's the Wright brothers?
Doesn't-
The main brothers.
If it wasn't properly documented,
You guys
it
talking
doesn't
about me
really
and my
count.
brother? Yeah.
Yes, the brothers Wright.
Yeah.
The brothers Wright. Do you remember that?
There was-
Frenchie came up with it at work. The brothers Wright. We used to die every time we heard it.
Yeah, so let's call it 100 years,
Yeah,
and
110
like look at the
years.
difference in
Yeah, and
technology.
now it was just a few years ago that NASA had a drone that flew like 6 times the speed of sound, and the X-15 wasn't really a plane, but it flew 6 times the speed of sound back in the 70s or something.
Man,
Yeah.
I started following this thing on Insta. It's another account. It was called, what was it called? It was like all fucked up, like all just conspiracy based.
Sexy Melbourne boys.
You're a dickhead. It's called The System is Broken.
The boys of Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're a moron. You really are a moron, man. It's called The System is Broken. And there was this, and this really tripped me out. Take a look at this, yeah? What does it look like? Pass it around.
Pass the phone to the left-hand side.
Pass it to the left-hand side.
Da-dee. Who were these steps made for?
Yeah. See how, like, the people are really small?
Mm.
Yeah. So, like, insinuating that those are steps, they're not... You know, what are they? They're steps for something massive.
Giant steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you reckon, like, that tripped me out.
Goliath.
Like, you'd have to be a fucking big dude to, like, be able to walk up that. as steps.
You'd have to be 100 meters tall.
Yeah, exactly. Do they look like steps? They look like steps.
Yeah, they do.
Just because they look like steps doesn't mean they are steps.
It's trippy though. Like that, someone's just written people back in the day were really tall.
David and Goliath, duh.
Seriously. Alright, so someone
I
just...
think there's better conspiracy theories out there than that.
Yeah, no, there are.
Did you know that the Great Pyramid is made to a higher accuracy than modern buildings are?
Oh yeah, no,
the
to a
overall-
T.
Yeah, so
it's like a
in
T.
terms
An
in
inch-
terms of
inch
how
or something.
a couple of centimeters out,
Like nothing.
at the
nothing
end,
out.
yeah. And for a building that size, like modern construction standards are like 6 centimeters or something. So,
Insane.
Yeah.
and and the fact that that it has 8 walls, not 4. So each wall is slightly concave, just a little bit. You can only tell from some angles.
Oh, slightly goes in a little bit. So
Yeah,
you have
like
two on each
the
side.
weight, because if you have that many rocks, they start to act like a water. So they've got to cave in the surface a little bit, like a dam, to hold back just the pressure of that.
Yeah. Wow. That's some smart people, huh?
Hey, I was going to ask you.
And
No, keep going. Sorry, I'll pull it up.
there's all the astrology stuff as well.
Yep.
There's plenty of, I think people just don't give us enough credit.
They say like the Mayan calendar, that's like more accurate way of looking at the seasons and stuff than
Oh, dude,
what it is
there's
today.
hundreds there's too many calendars there are, man. Not just the Mayan. Like, there's so many calendars and so many, just systems
yeah,
of
but the
recording
accuracy
time.
of it is
Yeah.
like up to date today's
Yeah, it's,
standards.
brutal.
The way it works, yeah.
And you think about these guys knew nothing, as in of what, they had no means as in what we have, technology-wise, where we can just GPS everything, or Google it. And, down to a T, man. To a fucking T. Dude, there's an amphitheater in Greece. I visited, it's near Delphi, I think, I can't remember. And you go in, and it's just like a stone theater, those old school stone theaters where there's just a flat surface and then just the rows and rows of seats going up, yeah? And I can't remember how many meters it was, right? But you stand in the center of the performing area and you walk up to the top, so you can see your mate or whatever. I went this in '98, so it's really gone back a day, man. But I remember standing there looking at the dude that was standing on the floor. And you could make him out, it wasn't that high where it's fucking, you could see him.
Like 100 meters away or something.
Yeah, whatever. But I could hear him perfectly.
Just because of the, yeah.
Perfectly, just because of the dimensions of the theatre. It was reciting Edgar Allan Poe or something. Or The Raven or something. It was The Raven. Yeah. And I was tripping out. I'm like, man. And I remember my mum giving me a bit of the history. And it's just dude, they built this how many thousands of years ago? Yeah?
Yeah.
And my apartment block got built 3 years ago and the fucking thing's fallen to shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
No shit.
No shit. These Colosseums and shit been around for how many years, man? And
And they're not small.
nah. Size of the G.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the Colosseum when I was in Rome. And you just turn the corner, and all of a sudden it's in your face. Just what the fuck? Where did this come from? Man, and they've survived centuries, dude.
Still
Centuries. Centuries, man.
I'm still standing. yeah.
That's a great song, man. It's really upbeat.
Elton John and
Yeah,
Kiki.
man. That's a really, really good song. What happened to Elton John? Still around?
yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't done.
I don't think he's dead.
Chilling in his
He's not
mansion.
dead. I don't think he's dead either. I think he got married.
Did he?
I think so.
Sir Elton.
Yeah, he's
Sir
been
Elton.
knighted. What happens when the Queen, the monarchy disappears? What happens to all the knights? Or the dames?
They're out on the street to fend for themselves.
Just you're worth nothing, buddy. Fuck off. Seriously. Would you agree to be knighted? Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Would you agree to be knighted?
Depends, really.
No. The Queen Elizabeth wants to knight you.
I don't
He
think he
just sees me and goes, "This."
Why not?
He's not a. I don't think Australians can be knighted, can they?
Didn't Rolf Harris get knighted?
No, the Governor General got knighted into as well.
Did they? Okay. I must be confused
Crossgrove?
about what Tony Abbott tried to do with knights and dames. Oh, was he trying to bring him back for
He
Australia?
tried to bring him back here.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to introduce the knightship or whatever of
That's what I was looking up online.
And everyone was like, "Don't do it, you idiot."
There's another society called the Order of the Knights in Australia.
The hell are they?
Well, I was really late one night and I started looking into it.
Watching his conspiracies.
Is it Peter Crossgrove, the attorney, the General?
I don't know some of these names. Oh, he'd be. Yeah.
No,
Why don't you
The
know?
Governor General.
I don't know.
The Governor General Crossgrove.
Someone
Who's,
look it up.
Oh, Jim, did you know that you're a lord?
I'm a lord.
Yes, Lord Dimitri,
Why?
because you own land.
Really?
Yep, and your landowner is called
landlord.
So you,
I was looking into becoming a lord or a sire over in Scotland somewhere. I
Yeah.
looked it up when I was getting one of my tats done, like 2 years ago. Dude, my tat dude is like a fucking funny cunt, right? You should bring him on here, like he'd be hilarious. He just knows all this random information about nothing. But he said, dude, you can become like a sir or a lord or something. I go, how? Look it up. You can buy like an inch of like a plot of land, like a couple feet somewhere in like
And, like,
Scotland
that's enough to-
or Wales, and that's
then
enough.
you
to
become a
give
lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked it up. There's plans. Like, you can actually do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how legit it is, though. I don't want to sound like the
But that's all it
random
is. Because back to the climate denying stuff, there's a guy who goes around by the name of Lord Monkton, who goes around trying to disprove climate change. And yeah, all you need to be is like he makes it out like he's some important person because he's a lord. But
Yeah.
I'm a lord. You're a lord.
I'm a lord.
Not a big deal. Like
I'm a lord. Can you start putting it on your census?
yeah, I'm pretty sure you
From
can.
the pen of Lord Dimitri.
I've already done it. The Lord Right.
So poor Johnny over here, he's just a peasant. He doesn't own land.
Peasant,
A
yeah.
serf. A serf.
Just a jester.
Can you imagine you with the jester hat?
Yeah.
Just doing tricks? What would you
With the tights, doing my ballet moves.
Those multicoloured things, like the Joker card.
I can already juggle, so
Can you?
yeah.
Actually, I remember you used to juggle this shit at work, yeah.
I can juggle and I've got some sweet ballet moves, so...
Oh, yeah, that ballet move was killer. You need to see it. You got to do it for him later. Dude, I went to his place before we came here.
Yeah.
And his little girl, like, is into ballet and stuff, so we were trying to coax her to do some of her moves. So then he pulled out one of the moves from the arsenal just to, like, prompt her. Pretty impressive, man.
Yeah,
She was blown away. The first time I did it, she was blown away. She was just
Bolshoi is going to be calling.
like, the look she gave me, she's
just-
like, my dad can dance, oh my god.
Elevated to godlike level. You know?
Mate, that Russian circus is coming, man.
Yeah.
Just...
I was going to get you to talk about having a kid with a public healthcare system. Want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
Speaking of kids, quickly before you do that, I was watching, my missus showed me something the other day. There's a 17-year-old girl who has a 5-month-old, right?
Okay.
And she's pregnant again.
17 years, surely.
She's 17 years old. She's
You said 17 month.
Oh, sorry.
I think, didn't he?
No, I think you're just hearing wrong. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it said 17-year-old with a 5-month-old.
17-year-old girl
Yeah, yeah.
with a 5-month-old, and she's pregnant. I can't remember how many, like a couple of months pregnant maybe, or something,
Yeah.
3 months, 4 months. She was caught on the side of a road. She mounted like a park bench with her car. She tried to run away from the scene. Someone grabbed her and tackled her. And then it came out that she was high on drugs, completely blind drunk on alcohol, unregistered, unlicensed, and she crashed her car. She's got a 5-month and she's pregnant. How fucked up is that?
What is she going to get for that?
I don't know, I didn't see the whole thing, but they were just interviewing her and she's just had
What
like the
can
worst
they give
attitude.
her?
Like, are you sorry for your action? She's like, nah. Don't give a fuck. You could have hurt someone. It's like, you could have, should have, would have,
Can't
could have, should have, would
do what I
have.
want.
Yeah.
Fucking punch her in the face, man.
And I just started thinking, like, remember how you and I were talking the other day about, like, should people just be allowed to have children, like, as many as they want? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was
that'd be
Bird,
interesting to ask Arthur as well.
Bird, who was arrested like a few days ago for protesting outside an abortion clinic, had 10 kids. You've got 10 kids, then you have something more important to do than break the law. You know?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Here?
Yeah, and in Australia. Because abortion's still illegal in Queensland.
Queensland. Love the Queenslanders, man.
Yeah.
Is it? What the fuck is going on up there? I'm being dead set serious.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on up there? Oh,
It's too hot.
They can still get medical exemptions and stuff, but technically abortion is illegal.
dude, there was a case up in Queensland. This fucking infuriated me, dude. This kid, he was 17 when it happened. Andrew Burke, right, in Queensland, raped, murdered, and killed a Filipino woman, right, who was married to some dude. She was going to work, and was she on the way to work? No, she was on the way to work. She was walking to work. Raped, murdered, and killed a Filipino woman with a screwdriver. Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
left her for dead on like the front property of like some house not far from her own house because she was just walking to work, like in the middle of the night or whatever, and killed her unborn baby as well. Yeah, dude.
The fuck?
He got sentenced life, right? So this happened when he was 17. He's 18 now. Got sentenced life, minimum of non-parole period for 20 years. So he'll be eligible for parole at 38 years old, right? The husband is like just traumatized. He's like, there's no point. Like I don't know what I'm meant to be doing now. Like I mean, wife had unborn baby coming. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's horrible. That's fucking horrible.
Like, he's done. Dude, that guy's got a life sentence on him now, and it's going to go longer than. There's no parole period for this dude. Like, how would you think about losing your missus and your unborn baby, right? Life period. I felt for this dude like right away. And I'm thinking about this guy with a screwdriver, no like reason, like there was no like he wasn't like an ex-boyfriend, no malicious like
just random,
just picked this woman off the street with a screwdriver, brutalized her, fucking just destroyed her, and he gets a parole period after 20 years. He can start applying for release. How is that a life sentence? If there's a non-parole period, life sentence should mean life sentence. I don't want to hear about rehabilitation. It's one thing like if you're defending someone and then like you defend yourself and accidentally kill someone in the process, like it's manslaughter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's a bit different.
Con Air.
Yeah, Con Air.
You know what I mean? It's all noble and shit, right? But that's intent to fuck someone up, leave him for dead. You know what I mean?
And it's a complete lack of humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an animal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm totally for bringing back capital punishment and just kill those people.
Dude.
Someone that would do that doesn't deserve to be alive.
And it's costing us over $100,000 a year in prisons, right?
It's generally cheaper to lock them up for life than it is to kill them.
Really?
How so?
2 bullets, a bit of fucking...
Well, that's the case in the States anyway. Because how many people per year would you kill?
As many as it takes. Look, man.
Oh yeah, you know that Filipino guy, the president of the Philippines.
Duterte.
So he's started rounding up politicians now.
Oh yeah, he's earmarked like 150 heads that are like corrupt or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's going for the chokehold, man. He's going for the jugular. He doesn't give a fuck.
But according to him, so anyone who is like, it's the same thing in Turkey. The president's just like anyone who's whispered disapproval is now part of the coup, and anyone in the Philippines who's whispered disapproval is now a drug dealer.
Yeah, man.
So like, yeah. Anyway, back on capital punishment.
Yeah, back on capital punishment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, in the States, like you see those executions. Is anyone left that still doesn't use the what's it called, the intravenous things?
Injections. Yeah.
Is it
So
they've outlawed the electric chair everywhere now, haven't they?
yeah, I think so.
States.
I'm not too sure.
But the thing in the States are the worst possible example for the death sentence because they kill. I did the math once. I think they kill more innocent people than they would save.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be like without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, no. I'm talking without a shadow of a doubt. Like this dude that did this one, Martin Bryant. Like we've talked about it before.
Red-handed, you did it.
Right?
But that brings it down to like a couple of people per year per state. And you think of the infrastructure and the laws that need to be made. They should just get
pass
life
laws
in jail.
for more ridiculous shit every single day after. That is not an excuse.
Yeah, but that doesn't need there doesn't no infrastructure for that. You're talking about having a facility set up somewhere in the state.
We set facilities up to babysit pedophiles for no reason.
You're talking something's going to get used a couple of hours a year.
Couple hours? I'll tell you what, man. just the fact of having this fucking beacon of corporal punishment just sitting there would deter a whole lot of motherfuckers from doing the wrong shit.
It doesn't work.
It would. It would, man.
Deterrence doesn't work.
It will.
They've got the death penalty in the States, and their murder rate is much higher than it is here.
Because they've got fucked up gun laws and a fucked up culture.
No, but you can do state by state. So and it used to be that all states had the death sentence was legal, and then they started getting rid of it. And they would look at side by side states, and one would get rid of it, and all the murder rates and crime would stay exactly the same.
Okay, do the civilians all stay the same? Are they the same people?
How do you mean?
Dude, the redneck. Look at the states. Look at the states, and look at the statistics of which states actually still have the death sentence, and then look at the crimes and demographics of those affected areas.
But if
man.
you've got two states right next to each other with comparable murder rates, and then you get rid of the death sentence in one state, and they both stay exactly the same, then the death sentence doesn't have anything to do with it.
That's one state.
And they've also got some areas where they got rid of the death sentence and then brought it back again.
Okay, I think we should all just be paying attention to what's happening in the Philippines, and we use that as the benchmark and see what happens in 6 months. How about that? Because we're talking about comparative stats now, or isolated or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Let's just see what happens in the States. People already turned themselves in because they don't want to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how many innocent people have been killed?
I don't know. I don't know the number. Neither do you. No one does.
Neither. Yeah, but if it's 5 out of the hundreds,
If it's 1.
then the crime rate's gone up.
If it's 1, it's gone up.
Yeah, the murder rate in Australia is so insignificant.
But at the same time, dude, it's like all the shit that happens.
I'm
People
not,
don't give a fuck because nothing's actually going to happen to it, man.
no, I totally lock people up for much longer than they are. But the death sentence isn't going to stop people committing crimes, and it's not necessarily cheaper than just locking them up for the rest of their life.
I'm trying to figure out how it's not cheaper. How can just giving someone an injection and them dying, be more than having someone for 30 years every day, fucking however much it is?
Yeah. Getting the rights that we don't have.
It's just the way it is in the States. So,
Fuck the States. I'm talking about here. Forget the States.
Oh, you could do it so it's cheaper.
Of course you could.
But there's... We all have rights,
We'll run a green execution chamber. Nothing but turbines and hydroelectricity running this thing. Yeah? We'll come up with some fucking toxic, just potent shit out of nothing but green. There you go. It'll run itself.
It's more to do with the legal fees associated with it.
Huh?
More to do with the legal fees associated with it.
Legal fees?
Legal.
Yeah. Appeals and whatnot. Anyways, the point, yeah. So you could do it cheaper, but in the States at the moment it's more
there is
expensive.
no appeal. You did this, you're fucked up. You're dying.
Yeah, but then you have to take people's rights away.
Beyond reasonable doubt.
They took their rights away when they fucking...
But that's the standards
raped this
now.
chick
We've
with
said
a-
it before.
Yeah.
We've said before. The second you stop respecting human rights, you should have the ability to take your human rights away.
Yeah.
Should be a thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about someone who was in the wrong place, wrong time. It was a fucking misunderstanding.
Yeah, the most extreme cases.
We're talking
of murder.
extreme, cold.
Like what you said before, no humanity, no empathy, no...
Because this poor bastard now has to live with the fact that in 20 years this guy's going to be out.
Yeah, that guy has ruined so many people's lives.
He's
Not only has he terrorised this woman and killed her, he's ruined so many lives around her for life.
Yeah.
But dude,
that guy.
I have empathy and compassion, but still, man.
Don't bring it in expecting it's going to lower the murder rate.
No. It's called justice, though, but man.
Yeah, and
that's the problem, man. Okay, look at it this way, yeah.
And surely it's got to be saving money,
Dude, I'm telling you, a green electrocution chamber, man. Hydroelectricity.
Cut out the middleman. We'll just do it with a giant magnifying glass.
Yeah, just
Concentrated
Dude,
soul.
just dig a giant hole and just push them into it. I'm serious. Just push them down there and let them die.
the hole.
The hole.
You get the hole, let them fight it out.
Just.
And then when it's getting a bit full, just cover it up and make another hole.
Dude, these extremist views. Fuck this podcast, man.
No, I'm serious, man.
No, okay, let me tell you something, man. This is what. All right. I've been to Greece a handful of times, yeah, and every time I go there, I criticise the system because there is no system. It's just everyone does whatever the fuck they want. But it's I remember my uncle told me years ago, right? Because I was getting frustrated. This is the first time I'd gone back as an adult. And I was just getting pissed off, just everyone taking the piss and no one, nothing is what it is, right? And I said it about Australia, how there's, fucking regulations and rules and, structure and all that shit. And he's like, look, he got a bit narky. He's like, listen, I've been listening to you bitch about this shit for about 2 weeks. Let me tell you something. He goes, I like Australia. I've come there once, but there's no way I could live there now because this is a system that I know, and I just couldn't adapt, right? Period. You've got, it's a good thing what you guys have got going on, but you have to understand something about Greece. Prohibited, the word prohibited does not exist, right? You want to smoke in a restaurant, like in a club, smoke in a fucking club, right? They've got the ashtrays out to appease, like, whoever. The no smoking signs to appease whoever, but they're going to smoke. Just the word, I am not allowed to do this.
You just do what you want.
You do what you have to do within reason. But at the same time, if you do something that's going to piss someone else off, expect to pay consequences for that. So if you park your car in a no parking zone, right, in front of like a hospital or some shit, yeah, you'll do it. If someone comes along and tows it, you can't do shit about it. Too bad. But you're not going to find a parking ticket on your car. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's all little shit like that. And everyone just cuts out the middleman a lot of the time. And that shit, man, really frustrated the fuck out of me because it just, things weren't the way I'd expect them to be, because it's like, man, I'm used to this in Australia. Like, you pay your money, you get this. Or you go there, you expect someone to fucking do that, right?
Like everything really structured.
Yeah, there's structure. There's no structure there, man.
Okay.
All right? It's infuriating, and it's also a reason for, like, the circumstances in Greece and the deficit and all that sort of shit, right? And the recession, all that crap. They did it to themselves. But at the same time, they don't fuck about with shit like this. Like, does that make sense? They don't fuck about. I remember when I was there in 98, there was this big case that just exploded when I got there. And it was a dude who held a woman hostage. Like, he broke into an apartment building or something, and he had, like, a woman hostage. And I think someone died. I can't remember if someone died, but he just had this woman hostage. And he had a hand grenade in his hand, and he was constantly, like, taking the pin out, putting the pin in, like, just keeping cops at bay. And I think one of them went off, and this woman was just, like, destroyed. Like, basically, her whole side of her body had gotten taken out. Like, she was married, I think. It was all over the news. Like, if I look it up, 98, it'll be there, right? Eventually, like, I think the cops, a grenade went off. Cops swarmed the building or whatever, like, stormed the place, got him. And because they just kept playing the same footage over and over again, right, of him in a stretcher getting thrown into an ambulance and get taken to hospital. That guy, like, didn't make it to court, right? Like, he fucked himself up, right? Like, he had blown up his hand or some shit. Like, yeah, it was battered. But he didn't make it to court. He didn't even get out of the hospital. He was gone, like, 2 days later.
People just got to him.
It's just, like, he's destroyed this woman's life. Like,
Yeah,
I remember, I
him.
was only 12, 13, so I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And my uncle was like, there's no way they would have let him walk out of that hospital after what he's done.
And I like that mentality.
You know what I mean?
How often do you see the guys like Martin Bright smiling as he's going into the fucking prison?
The official news thing said that he suffered cardiac arrest, like, during, like, you know, while they're trying to fucking tend to his injuries or some shit like that, right? But I remember they were like, this woman's life, like, I think the woman ended up dying as well, right? Husband's just, like, traumatized for life, like, he saw all of it, like, whatever. And, like, I can't remember if she died or she was still alive, but they were like, she's not going to have a life. Like, it's over. And why should this cunt get, like, that's it? Because they would have finished him off, like, for sure. Because, like, I remember asking my uncle about it, like, later on, like, what happened? He's like, nah, that would have been it.
Good.
Because he's like, fuck this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got traumatized, like, all these fucking people.
Yeah, well, we're not going to see him walking into prison next week smiling at the cameras like,
well,
ha
this guy's in the fucking witness bay, like, crying his eyes out for the rest of his life.
And this poor woman's just got half a body. Nah, fuck that, man. Kill it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that made, like, that really stuck. Like, I'm remembering, this happened nearly 20 years ago, and I'm remembering it because it was just like, fuck, man, that's massive. You know? And then you see, like, this guy, fucking Andrew Burke, took a screwdriver, raped, brutalized, murdered a woman, left her for dead, with an unborn baby that's died as well, and in 20 years, like, yeah, I want out, I've had enough. Do you feel you've been rehabilitated? Yeah, I'm fine, I'll never do it again. And then you could be at the pub and run into the fucking husband of the dude who's killed his wife, you know? How would you feel? Meanwhile, this guy's got to get up.
End it there.
Yeah. Like, the guy, like, in his article, in the thing, he was saying shit like, I can't bring myself to sleep. He's been sleeping on the couch because he can't bring himself to go into rooms and shit that were like his wife's and his.
Oh, dude, yeah, I can totally empathise. Yeah.
And that's just one case, dude. Think about all the fucking cases you hear about, man, of like fucking women getting killed or whatever.
Yeah, about one woman a week. I think a little bit more this year gets killed by domestic violence.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And then you've got the murders outside of that as well.
Yeah,
So,
like, dude, I'm all for re-educating and all that sort of shit, yeah? Like, especially domestic
but there is a
violence.
point where it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a point, like, it doesn't work, right?
Like,
Okay,
you fucked up, you made a mistake.
You need to look at it again.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, this guy's fucking just topped someone off. Yeah, 20 years non-parole period. What do you mean?
It's unforgivable.
If you're going to lock him up for life, then make it be fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
And don't Don't stick them in a room for the rest of their life. You make them work.
Yeah.
Make license plates or
Anything,
whatever the jobs.
man.
Yeah.
Go fucking dig
a
holes
hole,
in a subterranean tunnel.
Yeah.
You know?
Turn rocks into gravel.
Yeah.
Because that annoys me about the prison system is that it's supposed to be just for them. Nah, like, I'm a citizen.
Put them down in the mines.
It's costing us money.
We don't have mines anymore.
The mines, send them to WA.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's plenty of good programs. You know, stick an anklet bracelet on them. Like, if they're murderers, they're probably not going to do anything too dangerous. Stick them on the side of the road, so pick up rubbish for 8 hours, go home.
I don't think, that's a luxury. Dude, we don't get to see the sun for 8 hours.
No, I'd say clean toilets or something really fucking...
I say something fucking strenuous to the point where they get their spirits and their minds are going to be
It doesn't matter,
broken.
man. Like, I disagree with the idea of sticking someone in a room. It doesn't matter who they are. I mean, you can be relatively safe that if you stick one of these people on the side of the road with an ankle bracelet and a few guards,
Yeah.
that they're going to pick up rubbish and there's not going to be an issue.
This is the thing.
One of them might jump out in front of traffic.
This is what I disagree with, right? This
Free
is what
capital punishment.
This is what I disagree with, right? Now that you said it, I don't disagree with people. I disagree with people sitting in a room. You know what? You're right?
Yeah.
Because in that fucking room, it's like Club Med, and they got more shit, more utilities than we have, right? As a collective, right? I disagree with that. You're right, but I want them to be productive for society, not for productive for themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So in other words, putting them to fucking clean rubbish or making gravel from fucking rocks with like whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's work that
There's
they
shit
do.
that we need done.
I think they literally make license plates in Victoria.
Yeah. There's shit that we need done. And you know what? It's not. I don't want them to have the right to go to fucking get an education, man. Like Julian.
Make them pay for it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, just pay them a couple bucks an hour, $5 an hour to go clean the road. I mean, they're getting their food for free, and then say you earn $5 an hour cleaning the road,
Dude.
and then you can pay for your own education.
The last podcast that we did with Nick before he went for his honeymoon, man, we were talking about becoming PIs, and we looked up the courses, and it was going to cost me $2,000 to do it. It was going to cost someone on, disability or whatever, like $50. Man, I'd love to be a PI. I don't have that kind of money. I couldn't even apply for that kind of credit.
Yeah.
Why? Because life. Because rent, and I need a car to get to work.
Yeah.
And I'd have to literally fight, scream, be frugal as fuck for the next 5-10 years just to become a PI, to get a piece of paper to try and get work. These cunts commit some sort of felony. Not only are they getting all their meals, dental, meds, everything, they're getting educations thrown at them as well, so they can be a productive member of society.
I think they do pay for their education.
Dude, they can be a productive member of society once they're out from some heinous, like, fucked up crime that they should never have committed in the first place. Like,
Yeah.
Are you fucking joking, bro? Like,
Dude, and while they're in there, they don't have to stress about life. Like,
they don't stress about shit.
like
No.
you don't have to think about earning, like, nothing.
Like, how long does it take you to go do shopping and cook each? Do your dishes?
My
Takes
God,
forever.
hours.
Yo, dude, anything.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't got a single bit. I'll be honest, man. I didn't do grocery shopping today because I didn't have any money. Like, literally, I didn't have money. My credit card got maxed out because I was buying computer parts to fix up the computer that's going to edit this podcast, right? That was my priority for the week. I'm like, yeah, I got a few frozen meals in my fridge. I'll just defrost one of them. I made bacon and eggs this morning, but I didn't have bread because I didn't have bread. All right? I literally, that's what it came down to. I'm not complaining. Those are my choices. I'm still driving the same car. I'm still fucking wearing $200 pair of sunnies. My choices.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of my situation. Yeah? Don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. It's not a pity thing. That's just how it is. That's how it is for fucking a lot of Australians, man, that probably don't make it into the surveys and demographic reports that we keep fucking seeing all over the news.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And you're spending your tax dollars putting 6,000 people behind bars
Exactly.
for $240 a night.
Meanwhile, fucking Andrew Burke has now got 20 years to achieve whatever medical degree he wants while he's in prison. So in 20 years' time, he comes out at 38, refreshed, with an education and a food stamp, ready to go because he's now going to be a chance to be a productive member of society. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Because I'm not out there stabbing anyone with screwdrivers and looking for rape victims, man.
Yeah, you're still hustling every fucking day.
Yeah,
just to live.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't have a kid. I don't have this. Dude, this guy's probably going to get married in prison. Watch. He'll get married while he's in prison, man.
To Big Bobby.
Convert to another religion, right? And he'll come out and he'll have a fan following, man.
Yeah, you're right.
How can we make him a productive member of society? Go fuck yourself!
Yeah.
You're lucky I'm not shooting schools up because I'm that fucking frustrated with shit. But I won't. Dude, I'm really creeping people out of work, eh? every day I come in and
a little more loose.
I say it, usually it's in you guys that hear it and they don't know how to take it. Like, I say it to Bennett or something, they just laugh, you know. But I say it to you guys, like, today's the day, boys. Today's the day when you hear the screams, just run.
Judgment.
That's what I'm telling you, man.
Judgment time is upon us.
I say it every day.
I am the angel of death.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I walk past, like, you know when you walk, you know the walk from, like, the front gate to our area, like the office, the T5 room? You know where the maintenance area is?
Mm.
Right there's that office that sort of sits up. It's like a watchtower.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I was walking past that. I remember who I was with the other day. I'm like, you know what? I reckon that'd be it. I'm like, what? That, right there. What? Okay, that little office. Okay, I would scale that fucking piping and get to the top there. That is the best vantage point for this entire warehouse.
Just pick people off.
You know what I mean?
Just pop shots.
I would fucking take, like, sandwiches and just anything. Just till they came for me, man. But thanks to the lovely justice system we have in Australia, as long as I have my arms above my head when everyone comes and I yell out, I'm not a Muslim.
Might want to show you first, Tim.
Yeah, they'll just say, come down when you're ready. I'm ready. Take me away, boys. I'd like the menu.
Take me away to a better place.
Yeah, that's it. It's sad, but, like, it's true.
Frustrating.
No shit.
They don't have it that easy. But yeah, you're right. We do. There are problems with the criminal justice
Fuck
system.
there is, man. Okay, I'm not saying that it's like a fucking resort, you know, like a health spa. Like, it's not.
But the reality is, you don't have to worry about life, like the way we do.
Because chances are, if you were a fucking
Like every day, I stress about like if I lost my job, what's going to happen, blah 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 blah. They don't have all that,
Yeah.
right? They just
if you're
what's the hardest thing they have to do in prison?
just worry about not getting fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there are work teams. I
Dude,
can't remember exactly, but they do. Some of them do have to work, but they do, and they get paid like a minuscule amount of money for that work. Like, it's ridiculous.
What's his name?
Well, but not ridiculous. But it's nothing.
Mr. Kelly from fucking Hey Dad. What's that cunt's name? I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, the pedophile dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see what happened to him? They set up a little special unit for him, and they built a wall around his area outside in the yard because
Where he's safe.
they
Where
were,
people.
all the other inmates were lobbing. They'd get their milk crates, their milk cartons that they're given, like their ration of milk. They'd get that, fill it with piss and shit, and then lob it at him through like the fence.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's resorted. The poor tortured soul has resorted to wearing full like ski outfits and like winter wear in the middle of summer just to protect himself from the piss and shit bombs. He's like, take me away somewhere else. I can't be here anymore. I can't handle it. Dude,
Can't deal with this.
you fucking molested.
How many kids'
minor.
lives have you fucked for the rest of their life?
And now we have to feel sorry for you? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
Fuck you, exactly.
You've ruined
Fuck you.
so many lives. Fuck you.
You lived the better half of your life as a fucking D-grade celebrity in this country. You know, but never did a day's work. Did he do it? What was he doing after Hey Dad? Did he ever do anything?
I know of.
I don't know. I'm curious. Did he do anything?
I don't think so.
Nah. No, I never saw him on TV again.
Touch kids.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they've specifically built a surrounding wall to protect him from these piss and shit bombs. Fuck!
Let him cop
But
it
it's
every
the
day
same-
for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same with the guy who shot up one of the first mass murders,
Here,
mass shootings. Yeah, the guy who did in Melbourne.
Julian Knight.
Julian Knight.
Hoddle Street.
Yeah, he's not allowed to go out. He's got a price on his head, and they have to keep him in solitary
Yeah,
confinement.
he's solitary like 23 hours a day or something. He gets like
Yeah.
40 minutes outside.
He's not going to get out.
Yeah, but he's constantly taking everyone to court using
Yeah.
our money.
Yeah, vexatious litigant. Like, he's literally not allowed to take anyone to court anymore because... Did I tell you guys that they took down a Nazi poster and
Yeah,
they took him to
I
court?
read it. You told me and I started laughing.
They
Like,
took
yeah.
down a Nazi poster and they took him
yeah.
to court for it.
For the right to...
To keep it up, yeah.
Are you, like, this is what they're using our money for, man?
Yeah. And it's so fucking
Why?
expensive.
Dude,
yeah.
give me 2
It shouldn't
minutes.
even be a discussion.
I'd walk in there.
Shut the fuck up.
I want to see this cunt. I'd rock up to the prison and say, where's Knight? You know, where's fucking Julian? Hey, Julian, listen, mate. I'd roll the poster. Okay, I've got your poster. Roll it up and fucking bat him across the eyes with it. Just shut up! You know what I mean?
It wouldn't. It's not even like it's hard. It's just super degrading. Like, makes a whoosh noise. And he's like cowering in the corner, like as his floppy poster folds over his head.
No,
he-
more
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, he is a soft looking dude.
Yeah, oh, dude, he's a bitch on wheels, man. You see, he looks like a fucking greyhound, man. Like a
Yeah.
gremlin. Like the dude from Lord of the Rings. What's his name?
Gollum.
Gollum. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
a Gollum. Looks like a fucking golem, man.
And he's straight up gonna, like, as soon as he gets out, he's gonna murder people again.
But is he up? Is he past the non-parole period now?
No, he's got, yeah, he'll spend the rest of his life in jail. So basically, they're not even letting him, he's past his non-parole period, but they're not even letting him appeal, yeah. So they made a law, and it was called, like, the Julian Knight Law.
He had a law named after him.
Yeah, well, it wasn't technically named after him, but... Because they can't make a law for just one person. And
It was just coined that or whatever.
Yeah, because he's the only one that's going to be affected by it.
What do you reckon the Johnny Wright law is going to be?
They'll
pass something one day, man.
But yeah, he took him to court for it, I think, or he tried. I don't know whether it went to court, but yeah, he's not going to get out of jail.
He took him to court against the appeal of his right to appeal.
Yes.
And who paid for that?
I don't think he made it to court, but yeah, he was.
But meetings were held.
Meetings were held.
It was a discussion. Like, no,
you know
shut the
funny?
fuck up.
Yeah, like,
Get in the
if
corner.
I was the warden at that prison, like the big dude, and they just came like, what? Julian wants another cook. Tell him to fucking shut up.
Imagine being that guard. It's like, Julian.
Hell, man.
And he's got like a couple of degrees up his sleeve as well.
Yeah.
So he would know his shit. And if you're like a guard, he's going to talk.
He's getting in your ear. You're just sitting there with a shotgun.
He's got like a notepad. Julian said, like, according to Section 3(8) of the something Act, he has a right to, like, pina coladas. Is that right? Some, like, 20-year-old
right
security
as a state
guard.
warden, blah blah blah. He requests, a vibrator and what?
Yeah.
Just tell him to fuck up. Tell him to shut up. Like, seriously. Man, if I was the head of these prison systems, man, I'd walk in. Like, literally, once a week, my weekly address, right, would be, like, to round every cunt up, put him into, like, an auditorium, right? Like, yeah, just divide. If it had to be divided, line them all up. Hey, listen, fellas, I'm going to say it once for the rest of the week. You know why you're here. You're not getting out. Shut the fuck up. Stop wasting everyone's time. Get on with it. And I walk out.
Yeah.
That's it. None of this appeal shit. None of this higher education shit. Just shut the fuck up. You know what you did to get here. You know it's... Just shut up.
In some of the cases. There are plenty of cases where people end up in jail, and the best thing is to give them an education. And
yeah, but like it's case by case, right? We're not going to generalize and say everyone that ends up in jail is a criminal. You could end up in jail just on a domestic assault charge. That wasn't your fault.
The vast majority of people in jail are going to leave jail, and you want to make them the most productive person.
Look at this way, right?
Yeah.
On Monday I had indoor, okay? We're playing this fuck-off new team, right? Full of old, fat, sloppy cunts, okay? Violent as fuck. To the point where all our players were getting chopped, and I've just cracked it. Because this one guy's like, oh, dude, I've gotten to the point now, especially with new teams, right, that we haven't ever played before, they just take liberties. Like, just take liberties. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is indoor soccer, man. It's not fucking MMA. I'd be like running for the ball, and I'd just feel this guy like literally kick me in the back of the leg, grab my arm, and I just stop. I just stop, turn around, and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh, what? I get, fuck up, idiot. You know what you did. And usually the whistle's blowing because the refs have learned that, like, I don't fuck around with shit like that. So, like, yeah, it's free kick, man. Don't touch him. You know, like, shit like that, yeah?
Trust me, just
literally.
it's for your own safety.
On Monday I'd had enough. Like, I'd had enough. I subbed myself off because I got injured for something. Came back, like, and I'm just watching guys just get dropped left, right. I'm like, fuck this. I've come on. Started running, same dude that's targeted everyone. I've just turned around, right? I've just gone, what the fuck? Like, I've literally, like, the whistle's been blown. I didn't even hear it, right? I just felt like my back get chopped. I just turned around, walked right up to him. He's just grinning at me, like, looking at me like, what? I've walked up to him, just gone, bang! Like, I've chested him and then fucking thrown my head forward as well. Just walked, sort of basically just walked right through him to the point where he's, like, fallen back. And he's just jumped up. And I just didn't even flinch. I just knocked him and turned around, right?
Yeah.
And all these mates were like, and I just turned, I didn't even look back. And then some of my boys sort of jumped up as if, like, they were running towards him to stop him. And when I saw that, I just turned and went, what, cunt? I go, fuck off. Like, I lost it. The ref gave him a yellow, then gave me a yellow for retaliating.
Yeah.
I go, retaliating? This guy's just fucking kicked me to the ground. I'm not going to retaliate? Now, he gave me a yellow card. I had to cop it on the chin. You can retaliate in a street fight in self-defense and totally fuck the other person up. If you've got a shit barrister, shit judge, whatever, you could go to jail even on that case. I know people that have gone to jail
Yeah.
for these things, right? They've done 2 years on an assault charge, even though it was self-defense, and he'd done nothing wrong to begin with, right? But just shit representation, didn't know what was going on, facts were warped, just ended up in jail.
Not everyone in prison is broken.
No.
Yeah.
Right? At the same time, man, like, think about this, yeah? If you guys pulled up to work, it's like, where's Dim? Oh, yeah, he got arrested. For what? He assaulted the guy at KFC over his chicken. All these just start laughing. Like, oh, yeah, finally, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
You know what I mean?
But we also know you well enough to realise that you're not like bashing some poor like
Yeah.
15-year-olds head like on the counter like
I dive out of my car into the drive-thru.
just like holding his head out the door window and like slamming it.
I said sweet and sour.
Where's my popcorn chicken?
Right? You do some shit like that, you can be rehabilitated, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and yeah, has to yeah on both sides. You can have
You fucked up. You had a brain fade. You fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Learn your
and,
lesson.
But
But when you're not a human being,
yeah, but when it's the extremes, man, and there's more extremes where it's like, no, man, no, fuck you.
so
Dude, pedophiles, sorry, man. Pedophiles that get released, right, after serving 10 years or 5 years or whatever, and they've got, like, good behaviour bonds. Oh, we're monitoring him. Remember, we mentioned it in one of the first podcasts, right? But they're still allowed to work. They're just not allowed to work near children. What planet are they living on? If you work as a tyre fitter, you're going to run into a kid eventually when they come in with their fucking parents. Well, where can you work? Well, what can you do? Seriously.
work at an old person's home,
So you're fucking with
giving
old
them
people?
sponge baths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, they get conditions like can't be near schools, can't be near, you know, primary schools and shit
70
like that.
meters.
But then 70 metres from a primary school. Where can you go where you're not 70 metres from a childcare centre or a primary school or a high school?
yeah.
Where? Dude, like, honestly, how far can you travel? Wodonga? Like, did you go out to the bush? Is all the pedophiles moving to NT now? It's like last fuel for 200 kilometres, you know? No. Name a suburb in Melbourne, for example, where there aren't any schools every 50 to 1,000 metres.
I will say this. Yeah, pedophiles are hard to rehabilitate, but a kid is significantly more likely to get assaulted by someone in the family. Like the idea of your kid getting assaulted by some strange guy at the end of the street is almost a straight up lie.
No, I'm not saying this only applies. Like, dude, I'm just saying once you're a convicted fucking pedophile,
Yeah,
once you're convicted, you've served time, and then the thought of like rehabilitating, like, oh, he's not going to offend again. Dude, you made that choice. You crossed over to the dark side.
Yeah,
That's it.
There's no coming back from that.
That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mistake. And we're not talking about questionable shit like she was 17 or 16 and was statutory, but I didn't know. I thought she was 20.
yeah.
No, we're talking about kitty
And the
Sexually
guys-
assaulting a
Dude, how fucked up? Like, the guy was 19, she was, 17, didn't know, or 16 or whatever. Like, dude, man, fuck.
that's fine.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, like, old fucking dudes with kids, minors,
Yeah,
right? What rehabilitating is it going to be done?
yeah, and it's so hard.
Don't touch kids. It's bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. I hope you.
But some of them don't even know that, man. That's the problem.
They don't think of it as a bad
Some of
thing.
them think that the kid wanted it. Yeah,
Yeah, they don't think. That's the point. That, like, look, we're going into what breeds a pedophile's mind.
Yeah, and it's a
or what
complicated
creates
story, but-
that's another kettle of fish we can touch on maybe after the break. All right, but I'm just saying, like, why are we rehabilitating? Or what?
yeah.
We've just given him a bus card. You know, here's your Mikey buddy, and here's $1,000. Just stay away from kids, yeah?
Just do us a favour and just no more
look,
kids.
We don't
right?
want to be back here, you know. Like, we'll watch you. We're keeping an eye on you from a distance. If you have any issues with your neighbours, let us know. If they start passing around flyers that you don't like, either your local Indian shops, take away junk mail. Just let us know. Let us know. Who are we rehabilitating, man? Look, what the fuck? Why is he laughing, man?
It's fucked up.
How fucked up is that? But, dude, you might want to put up a pergola in your backyard. All the council...
You don't go through the right avenue.
Dude, the sheriff... Mr. Right.
Come with me.
They
You drove on the Eastern Freeway. You didn't pay your
car on
tolls.
the nature strip? Dude, They tried to find my neighbour. This is 2 years ago. They tried to find my neighbour for parking. You know the front of my building, right? Actually, you haven't been in my building, but the service road, yeah? You can park directly in front of the building, but you can't park on the other side of the service road. Why? There's no reason. They've got a yellow line there. Apparently, yellow line means you can't park there. I didn't know that, yeah? My poor neighbour, man, he was from Greece, right? From, like, fresh off the boat, a young kid with a wife, can't speak. His English is really, really sketchy, yeah?
Yeah.
I was talking to him one day. He's like, man, they sent me a fine. I go, for what? He goes, parking on the fucking thing. I go, there's no signage. So I looked at it. I go, hang on, man. So I've called up the council on his behalf, and I had it out with them, yeah? And they said, oh, it's a no standing zone. I go, what are you talking about, no standing zone? I go, there's no signage. Oh, the yellow line. I go, dude, this man who just came, like, he didn't get it when he came through customs, you know, or got his license handed over. They never said, like, no, I don't know that. Like, I've been driving in this city for over 10 years. And I said, look, we can contest it, you know, if you want to contest. I go, yeah, I do want to contest. What's the appeal number? She says, oh, what's the infringement number? So I've given her the infringement number, and she goes, I can't find it on my system.
Oh,
I go,
how convenient.
I go, okay, does that mean, I go, the infringement goes away? And she started laughing. She says, no, I don't think it's that easy, but hang on, I'll look into it. I go, please do. All right? Okay.
What's funny, babe?
Hang on, man. It's funny. She's looked it up. She says, look, I'm going to have to get back to you. I go, all right, listen. I go, this is my neighbour's name, but contact me, because if you call him up, I go, you're not going to know dick. I go, call me up, and I'll be the middleman in this. She goes, okay, that's fine, right? They couldn't find the infringement notice. But they were going to issue a new one. I said, no. I go, if the infringement doesn't exist, oh, there was an error on the scanner, some shit. Like, they made up some really loose, no one knew. As in, the notice came to him with the fine, but no one could, like, back it up. Like, as in, nowhere. Like, they went through the council, they went through every avenue that they have to find. They couldn't find shit. So I said, nah, fuck you. Okay, he's not paying shit, right? There's no signage out there. Okay, you want to start on that stuff? In the end, they sent a letter. He came to my house, like, all concerned. He's like, hey, man, they just sent me this. Can you read it for me? So I've opened it up, and I've just read it. And I just kept this serious face, like, while I've read it in English. He's like, what does it say? So I repeated it in Greek, and it just said they've decided to drop. They're only issuing a warning at this point.
Oh, nice.
And he was just like, he just looked really confused because I had this really serious tone. And then I just started laughing at him, and he started laughing. He's like, these motherfuckers were going to make me pay.
I had to pay a $700 fine a few months ago. I drive on CityLink most days, but I have a Eastlink tag.
Yeah.
Late last year, it would deduct automatically from my account, but because late last year I didn't have much money, our deduction failed, ran out of money on my card, on my e-tag. My account got suspended for a couple of days. Eventually, I logged on, saw I was in minus $30. I'm like, okay, I'll just chuck it on. Paid it back up, didn't have an issue, forgot about it. A few months later, I didn't even know about it. It was I found out through a third party that I had outstanding infringements. 4 days, my account was suspended. 700 and something bucks.
4 days?
4 days.
There aren't many jobs. You know what's fucked up? There aren't many jobs that you can do in Australia to make that much money in 4 days.
Yeah.
Short of selling drugs or selling your ass.
And I didn't know about it. Like,
yeah.
Because I didn't have a CityLink account. I had an Eastlink account. CityLink's like, who's this person? And they just charged me for it, and they sent mail to my old address. Didn't bother to contact Eastlink and say, listen, you got infringements outstanding on this guy in your account. Do something about it.
Yeah.
My account was empty for a couple of days. I filled it up. Thought I was fine. A few months, half a year later, $700 in fines. Anyway, maybe we can talk more about toll roads.
Hang on, you haven't paid it, have you?
Yeah. I had to.
You had to?
Yep.
Dude, of all people, I'm really disappointed. I can't believe you paid it. I was expecting to start.
I can fight it after I paid, but I had to pay because of my circumstances.
Isn't that a bitch? He's got to spend money now to fight something that was
unjust.
Yeah, unlawfully.
I fought them before and won.
You know what's funny is, like, with that car thing, yeah? Like, we're standing out the front, like, after this happened, right? I was out the service road again, and he had parked. It was the middle of the day, and he's just parked, again, on that nature strip opposite the building, because he saw me. I was getting my mail, and I walked over to his car, and we were just chatting. He just pulled up. I was like, hey, you know, just thanks for helping me out with that thing, la, la, la. I'm like, oh, it's bullshit, dude. There's no signage. While we're sitting there, a council car rocked up, right? I think it was a council car. I don't like, but there was two things. It's like, can you move along? I just looked at, like, this woman and this dude, and they're like looking at the car, like, you know, can you move along from there? I just looked at her, I go, who are you? This is me. Why? You're not allowed to park there. I go, who are you? I go, I don't see any signage. You're not allowed to park there. I go, on what law? I go, where? What are we doing wrong?
Tell me where it says.
Why can't I park here? You're destroying the nature strip. It's all dirt. It's an all dirt area in front of our
You're
building.
parking on the nature strip.
He was just pulled up.
Oh.
Yeah. You're destroying the turf. Okay, well, number one, he's not parked. Okay, he pulled over because he saw me. Number two, who are you? I want to see some accreditation. And number three, there's no signage here, sweetheart. Like, how about putting some fucking signage in, maybe
we know.
considering multiple languages too, considering the area, and then we can have a conversation. But until then, don't tell me to tell my mate to move his car. I go, what's your name? Literally.
Yeah.
No shit. No shit. Like they're going to fine him because he pulled over for 2 minutes to talk to me. Get fucked. Get fucked.
Assholes.
Fuck him.